See, like that all the time. She asked me if I knew where Rosemary's Pond was, that's where the men's rubber up.
Oh, she said it on, live captions.
Sorry, read it again?
Yeah.
No, yeah, stop. But I don't want to be muted. I want to mute them.
But I'm sitting here.
It's fine.
I just.
Carrie had earlier. Oh, now we have 6. And Carrie, do you want to know about the video too? I know that
You see what that said? You said now we have 6.
Yes.
Now we have 6.
All right, now it's continuing their list.
So where am I?
They can hear you.
What is happening?
John's iPad is talking, whoever just.
Well,
We have the audio.
Yeah, she can hear what we're saying.
So. You can make this stuff. Can you make the video?
She's doing it as soon as it works, I'll let you know. Thanks for the patience. I know.
How many are you missing?
1.
Well, I think they're online, but we can't tell.
No, Ron's there and John's iPad, who I hope is John.
Yeah, Ron and John are here.
I recognize Ron's voice.
Hello.
Can we
Someone
start
say hello
without
out
seeing
there?
them, just hearing their voices?
I'm not sure.
I guess the question is.
I just shut off the video because of the Zoom bomb, but I can certainly turn it on. I was advised to keep the video off, but I can just keep an eye on it if you want their videos on.
Jenna, are you stating that you got Zoom bombed again?
No, just before. So in the setting it says don't allow people to start their video on here, so I just disabled it. So I can try to take off that setting if everyone wants me to. No problem.
Well, I just wonder, Jenna, do I have to be able to see, do we need to see them to then say that we have a quorum?
No.
Okay. All right, then we'll do a roll call. All right. I will call the June 8th, 2026 Council on Aging meeting to order. I'll start with roll call because I think that's really important. John Parsons,
Here.
Joan Coco, Rosemary DiBenedetto, Sally Hoyt, Kate Harrington,
Here.
Karen Panett, Ron Powell,
Here.
Jean Prado, here, John Szynski, Meryl. Who's John's iPad? John Szynski, are you here?
He's on mute. He has to unmute.
John, can you unmute, please? Marilyn Shapley, here, Tom O'Connor. Okay. So I will, here's an overview of the agenda. We are starting with the approval of meeting minutes from April 2026 and May 2026, followed by public comment, select board update, Friends of 60 Plus update, Elder and Human Services report and trust fund reports, and upcoming events at the center, COA at Pleasant Street Center. And there will be a vote on trust fund request, survey update and discussion, COA working group update and possible vote, small space recount discussion and vote, and voting on a chair. We will undergo a reorganization tonight that will take effect at the next meeting, voting on the chair and the vice chair, future agenda, and we will adjourn. there.
Karen, can I make a special request to move up the discussion on the makerspace alternative for a possible vote? Because I will be leaving early to be joining the permanent building committee meeting, and I would like to actually have input from the Council on Aging on that before I join that meeting.
Sure, let's see how it goes, and, if we can start it at 6:30, how's that sound?
I was actually planning on leaving at 6:30, but I can stay a little bit later.
Okay, all right, let's see how it goes, and we'll take that, out of order at that time.
Karen, sorry, can you just ask Carrie or Janet to turn the video on at the Pleasant Street Center on the panel there? Because we can't see you. And I also enabled people to use their video or profile picture if they want to now, so
It
just
says
an
the host won't
FYI.
allow it.
It should now.
I'm here.
I still can't use my,
It's not allowing it, Jenna.
Oh, boy. Okay, continue then.
So we can only see you in a large, very large screen. Okay, all right, so.
It's like she's on the monitor.
So the next item is the approval of the meeting minutes. So let's start with April 2026. I hope everybody had a chance to review the minutes. Can we have a motion?
I just have one really minor thing. So we're starting with April. Sorry,
Yeah.
I've been May pulled up. We go make sure I get the point right. So this is the April meeting. So in the list of voting members absent on that, you see it right at the start of the minutes. Anyway, Sally Wood is listed as a voting member absent. She's not. So.
okay, I see that. I'm gonna move her. I will fix that.
Yeah, fine.
I keep getting muted. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, John.
It keeps telling me you're muting me.
No, we can hear you.
I'm gonna meet you in a second.
We're starting with April first. Okay, the April
It's
meeting
such a
first.
small point, I don't get.
Okay.
So I moved Sally Hoyt. Unfortunately, I can't share my screen. But I am making the edits in real time here because they need to be approved by the end of this meeting.
Okay.
A quick question. I'm sorry, did you say April?
Yes,
I also have to leave this meeting at 6:30 myself.
okay.
So if we're gonna vote on something, I'm with Ron. Let's do it now or do it sooner.
Oh, that's John Zazinski.
Yes.
Okay, any other changes to the April minutes?
Yes,
Oh, yes, Marilyn.
on the minutes, and big improvement, Ron, still a couple of small things on approval.
Sure.
Prior minutes, it says a correction was made regarding previously referenced Burbank Fund interest. Not actually, it was just requested, and because the information was
Oh, I see you now.
Now I can see him now also.
actually, yay.
Oh, here, go on again.
Anyway, the minutes got approved as they were with the error as stated, because that's what was said at the meeting. And discussion of the error was sort of deferred to later meetings.
Okay. Can I just have a motion on how you'd want that reworded, or just tell me how you'd like that reworded?
How about if you change made to requested?
A correction was made regarding a previous reference Burbank
Right.
Trust Fund interest amount.
Just change it to requested instead of made.
Was requested.
Yeah, if you could leave it there if you want. You could say discussion of the error was deferred to future trust fund agendas.
Discussion was deferred.
Discussion of the error was deferred to future trust fund agendas.
Gotcha. Okay, hold on. Discussion of the error was deferred to future,
At meetings,
Agendas?
whatever makes you
I
happy.
got it.
Um,
Thank you, Marilyn.
one more.
What else?
On the draft of what you call the member resource packet, you simply said that it had to go to staff, and actually, we walked through that. And I don't think we need to get into all the details, but the bottom line was that it was next to go to Laura Gem for approval, and pending her request for modifications, we would do whatever we need to do and then get it posted. As
Is
opposed
that
to-
under draft policies number 7?
No, it's under
Under number 4.
council member resource packet.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, I see it now.
Okay. So
What would you propose to correct that or
it's,
revise it?
I would put in a sentence simply saying. I would simply put the packet will now go to Laura Gem for review and sign off.
Okay, so the packet will now go to
And,
for final review and sign off.
well, it's not final, it's for her
But
review.
for review and sign off.
Yeah, and then if you want, the packet will then, I'd insert then, you've got will return for final edits. I would say the packet will then return for final edits, and if changes are requested and council approval, then it will be posted on the town website, so we agreed to. So it's been through elder services.
Okay, so we'll just.
Oh, so wait a minute. So here's what I have now. I have the council review the draft council member resource packet.
Yeah.
Discussion included citation, fundraising language, and formatting issues. Staff clarified that hyperlinks not functioning within the PDF version would be active when posted online. The packet
Yes.
will now go to Laura Gem for review and sign off. Did you want
Yeah.
something after that? Or just cut it out there?
You could cut it out there. I mean, the next step is that if Laura wants us to do something, we
Well,
will
it
do
also
something.
depended what we actually discussed during the meeting
That's
too.
what we said
Yeah.
in the meeting. So the
Okay.
packet will then return for final edits if changes are requested by Laura.
Hold on. The packet will return
To the
for
council.
final edits. Go ahead. The packet will return for final edits and what?
If changes are requested by Laura. And then COA approval. And then it will be posted on the town website is what we said at the last meeting.
Hold on, you're speaking faster than I can type. So the packet will return for final edits if changes are requested by Laura, period, stop. And then
Yeah.
next sentence?
Then there will be COA approval, and then it will be posted on the town website. Is what we said last month.
Okay, followed by COA approval. And then posted on the town website.
Okay, and I don't. Oh, one more.
Okay.
Last one, item, it's around 9, somewhere, trust fund and future agenda items.
I see it. Yeah, I got it. Yep.
You might not need to do it because Karen's gonna walk us through all this tonight, so we could probably just leave it, so it's fair amount. I wanted to itemize, it says agenda, additional future and agenda items were identified, I wanted to identify them. Because no one would know what they were, but Karen's gonna walk through it tonight, so I'm happy.
Okay.
They're
can I-
on tonight's agenda. Is that satisfactory?
Yes, it is
Okay.
me.
Can I
Okay.
have a motion to approve the April. 11th.
April 13th.
April
Second.
13th. Is there a second? Don seconded it.
Yes.
We'll have a roll call vote.
I've got the
Jean
cane.
Prado.
Yes.
John Parsons.
Yes.
Marilyn Shapley.
Yes.
Kate Gibson. Paul Bonner. Oh, no, not voting. John Szynski.
Yes.
Ron Powell.
Yes.
Karen Janowski, yes. Passes unanimously. All right, now we can go to the May 11th meeting.
Okay.
Any discussion?
I hate this one minor one. Under the, sorry, I lost my place, under the RCT recording authorization, number 10.
Yes.
This council, it says that to edit the recording of a prior meeting, wasn't it for the meeting we were in? Not a prior meeting?
So the Zoom bomb occurred at the April meeting. So the minutes,
No, the May,
It occurred at the May meeting.
Yeah.
are we sure?
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Because Karen was.
Okay.
I wasn't here. and it was
So
May
it's just,
11th.
yeah, so
All
just
right.
take out the word.
So prior
Take out
recording of
prior.
a recording of
Yeah, the
a
recording,
meeting to remove.
Of
Got
that.
okay.
Of that meeting.
recording of the meeting to remove.
Got it. So the council discussed authorization for Reading Community Television to edit the recording of the meeting to remove offensive and inappropriate
Yeah.
content resulting from a Zoom disruption.
Yeah.
Good.
Any other changes?
Could make a small one, July meeting schedule. Everything you wrote is correct. You might want to add that, town staff confirmed that the COA could meet in July if we want. We don't have to have staff here. We just would not be online. It would be an in-person meeting if we chose to. And I think.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear most of that. Can you
Yeah.
tell me that again?
July meeting schedule. You've got two
Yeah.
sentences, they're fine.
Yeah,
I would just add a third. Town staff confirmed that the CO, because it was asked, the COA could meet in July in person if we wanted
Got
to. It's just we would not have RCTV or Zoom
Or staff.
or staff, right? We would not have staff. And I believe John Parsons suggested we discuss it at the next meeting as our chair that night.
okay, so town staff confirm that the COA could meet in person
In
in
July,
July.
if desired.
But didn't that
If
happen after the
desired.
fact?
No,
No.
It happened at the time of the meeting?
it certainly
Yes, it
did.
did.
Okay.
I listened. Yeah, just keep
but-
it simple. The town staff confirmed that a July meeting could be held.
That's exactly what I would say.
Perfect. I'm happy.
All right. Any other changes? Could I have a motion to accept?
I move that we accept the minutes that we're
As
looking
amended.
at.
Me.
I second it.
Second,
I second it.
John Szynski seconded. Roll call, Jean Prado?
Yes.
John Parsons?
Yes.
Marilyn Chaplin?
Yes.
Kate Harrington?
Yes.
John Szynski?
Yes.
Ron Howell?
yes.
Mary Nanowski, yes. The motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is public comment. And I see that we do have a number of people from the public, from the town, who I imagine some of you would like to speak. And if you could stand up and whoever would like to speak, first of all, how many of you would like to speak? Let's Nancy. Okay. Two, okay. So Nancy, you'll go first. If you could stand up, state your name and street.
Hi, everyone.
And
My
try to
name,
keep it less than 3 minutes.
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nancy Simlak, Orchard Park Drive, Reading resident. The reason that I wanted to speak was I wanted to speak on behalf of Ron Powell, who is our liaison to the Permanent Building Committee. His proposal for small program meeting room space. So he's going to talk about it later, but basically one of the big major changes would be that instead of the divider being installed completely, while the building is open, the infrastructure for the divider would be installed. And then the divider could be installed at a later date. Costs less money and some fundraising efforts or whatever could happen as a result of it. And by opening up the makerspace as a small meeting room space, that allows a lot of the programs that happen here at the senior center to be in a properly spaced room. And I know Ron is going to talk about it later, but my objective also in speaking is we need to make sure that this building is designed not only for the current users of the senior center, but we're looking at future growth. The senior population is growing in Reading. So let's keep that in mind as we make decisions about retail.
Thanks, Nancy.
That's what buying. I just want to talk
Could
about.
you state your name?
Oh,
and
I'm
street?
Janice Hart. I live at 70 Westcroft Road in Reading. I've been a Reading resident for 53 years. And I'm just concerned about some of the things that are going to happen with the senior center. And one of them is the new pay for the month instead of pay as you go. A lot of us are seniors, all of us are older. And part of that is everything is going up in our life, our groceries, our electricity, our car, the gas and all the rest of it. And I think it would be easier for us if we could pay as you go. And then if you have a problem, you just don't go to the meeting. And I wasn't happy with the idea of, well, if you can't, you pay for the month. But then if you can't make one of the meetings and say you have to take care of a grandchild that day morning or something, then you don't get the money back. They put it toward the next time. And I would like the money back. You know, I think that's another thing. And I'm concerned about how the people who live in this neighborhood who walk to the senior center, how are they going to get to the new senior center? You know, will there be a bus available that will come, you know, at different times of the day? And then how will they get home? Will that same bus come back and get them? You know, and bring them back home? Those are some of my, and that's what I've heard about from the people in the class that I'm in. And I'm not happy with this charging people more who are out of Reading in a touching town or whatever it might be. Because I've gone to other senior centers and I've never been asked to pay more because I'm not from that town. And I think it's not welcoming to people coming, and I've noticed the difference. The class numbers are definitely down. And so that's a concern of mine too. So it's not a big deal, but it's just something I wanted to bring to your attention, and I appreciate you listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else? Well, I do appreciate you all coming tonight.
Oh,
Thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is the select board update. Any new information from the select board?
Yes. So I have the select board, I appreciate being in these meetings and learning so much. The select board as a whole has not heard very much about either this project or the Killen project. So I've asked the town manager to give us an update, and I'd love for you guys to play a role in that, because it's not just a building update, although we want to know, you know, where we are in the finances and things like that. There's so much more for both projects. So that'll be coming up. And the other thing I wanted to let you know is that the library has just opened a new terrace space. The ribbon cutting was Friday night. The weather cooperated, the New England weather cooperated. It's beautiful with an amplification system. It is lovely for small events on plein air. So just wanted to let you know that that is up, and it's just lovely. And then all this year I've been attending lots of group activities at the library and here to get a feel. And I just wanted to specifically thank Ron, Marilyn, and who else? Oh, Nancy Toomey. In the last week, I met with all three of you, spent significant time just bringing me up to speed. Marilyn was kind enough to walk me through the current floor plans, and Ron and I talked about this divider issue, and Ron and I are both serving as liaisons to the permanent building committee as well. So it's just so important to keep that information flowing. And also I've attended Friends of 60+ events. So, you know, I'll just say my take. I certainly.
Can you give more like from the select board update to anything else that we need to know from the select board? Any other discussions that pertain to us that we need to know?
Not off the top of my head, this is unusual, an unusual format for this committee, actually, no other committee asked the select board to come in and do this. But
Well,
do
I
you have
have
any
to say-
questions? Is there
Yes.
something that you think I maybe should have brought up?
I know historically, like, we had Karen Rose Gillis, and she would always just give us the update from select board meetings. So it was just like things that we would need to know about, things that you discussed at the select board meetings. So that has been the pattern that we've had
Okay.
with
So,
Karen Rose
other
Gillis.
committees don't work that way, all select board members work a little differently. But, we're in a time crunch, so I will wrap it up. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Friends of 60+ update, Nora Bucko.
Yeah, we had our second annual antiques appraisal. I think it was May 20th. It was during the day, which was a little different because we had it on a Saturday, the original one, but it was a lot of fun. We didn't have as much attendance as we typically did, but it really is an entertaining activity. The appraiser is from Reading. And he's extremely knowledgeable, and very witty, and he loves doing it. He's gonna come back next year. And we raised about $1,300, and we also, there was an opportunity drawing, which is a raffle. So part of that was part of the raffle. And there actually was a Picasso there. Someone didn't know he had a Picasso. So you never know what's gonna show up, but so thank you for everybody who came in. We're gonna continue to do this for fundraising. And also we supported the life transition program that's going on here. It's active and I guess it's got good attendance. It's successful so far, so we happy.
You know, you maxed out the binder program. Maxed out at 30, which was.
Wow,
great.
that's a lot.
Yeah, that's excellent. And there were several of us who attended the
Free. Oh, no, the appraisal.
the appraisal. It was very entertaining.
Isn't it?
Highly
Really
recommend
is.
people to
Just for the comedy. Yeah.
Yes, even if you don't bring anything, it's very entertaining. Thank you, Nora. And Carrie, Elton, can you express it before?
We're both playing very on time despite everything. So, the Elder Human Services report. So as you can see from my numbers, I'm not gonna read them all, but all of those in red are from my senior center. And all of those that are highlighted are for the rec tech. So I'm toggling between two systems because we're still using two systems to get stats. So overall, I think the most important number is that we had 835 signups in rec tech, which is huge for the month of May. And 574 of those people were unduplicated. So we serviced 574 people in rec tech. And that's not including the people that signed in through my senior center. So a lot of people that all the people that take the exercise classes and have to pay are all using rec tech. And some people are slowly kind of trickling in from my senior center. So that's explains that. And then our volunteer hours have just been consistently up with lots of programs here at the center. Jane Wellman has brought her office hours to the senior center and they're very well attended. She's pretty well packed for 15-minute appointments. Biff has come back from his hiatus and is doing lamp repairs. Again, the life transition binder, we had our first session and we had 30 clients enrolled. The Sound of Healing did a sound healing class and it was funded by the Cultural Council. So we didn't really have to pay for that, which was lovely. We are having Phillips Academy present a philosophy program for free. And these boys are 17 years old and just presenting on philosophy, which is super great and very smart. Future leaders, I hope. We had a tech talk to help folks enroll in rec tech because, you know, we don't want low enrollment. People haven't come to that program despite saying they're having issues with rec tech. So I think people are just trying to figure it out on their own. I'm no longer the intern, just so you all know. I am permanent.
Congratulations.
We're averaging about 30 clients for community lunch, but unfortunately, we get some cancellations the day of, and sometimes when money isn't attached to things, we tend to see that. There's no real accountability to hold their spot, so we've been giving the fire department some food. The other piece that I kind of wanted to go into was that, and Jenna can chime in as well, is about the exercise and the fitness programs, because I've been hearing all the situations from that. I want to let you all know, we did receive a private donation, $6,000 this week. So we're able to put that in the donation fund to be able to help offset some cost. But
Excuse me, Carrie, was 1,000 from,
1,000 was from one person, 5,000 from another.
that was, they both were anonymous? They both were,
The Young Women's League of
Yeah.
Reading was $1,000.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, women's league, yeah, they should get the
Yeah.
recognition.
They do that, I think they've done that in the years past, but. So the current monthly sessions that we offer for programs here at the center are art, comms, chair volleyball, strength and balance, body and brain, yoga, and best is 2 times a week. And I just want to clarify that best is free. And we're working on bringing line dancing back with better enrollment. And we're trying to find a new Zumba instructor. With that being said, the projected estimate currently for fitness classes in art per month would be around about 2,000 or 24,000 per year. Enrollment for many classes is going well, but some are experiencing lower numbers now that participants have to pay. We would like to give participants the option to register in advance, but on a weekly basis for flexibility as they have requested. In order to do this, we are requesting a buffer of money from the Burbank Trust Fund of $10,000. We will run classes that still have an associated fee. However, if a certain amount of participants do not sign up for a given day, these funds will still allow us to pay the deficit owed to the instructors. So for example, if an instructor is a $75 per class and we charge $5 participants and only 10 participants show up for that class, that would be a $25 deficit, and we'd need to put $25 back in for the teacher, and that's what the Burbank would pay for. And it would help fund the instructor to continue the class. Another option for finance is that we take $10,000 from the Burbank Fund to pay in totality for the fitness programs for the next 5 or so months and let the revolving fund to continue to grow with our program fees. Option 2 is easier for invoicing, but staff is willing to carry the other options from the Council on Aging. If more funding is needed after this period of time, we received these are the donations we received last week, so we'll put those towards if we need additional funds to help sustain the revolving fund. Again, as stated in prior meetings, the staff has again confirmed with finance that the use of the Burbank funds can be changed at any time with a majority vote from the COA. These were concerns stating that there were concerns stating that with a majority vote, the COA can also decide to extend more interest if they choose to do so. So that's what we're thinking. I'm also asking for $5,000 from patrons to help pay for community lunch for 6 months.
So 5,000 from.
Is that for community residents only?
Excuse me?
Is it for only Reading residents?
I don't believe so.
But is there a charge for non-Reading residents gonna be?
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
there would still be the same $5 charge for a non-resident right now.
Not for
Okay.
lunch, though.
Yeah, not for lunch. No.
Is the priority for lunch for Reading residents?
It's mostly Reading residents, yes. And we do put, and the other centers, I have to say, are doing this as well. They are prioritizing their community first and putting kind of out-of-towners on wait lists. And then if options open up, they're letting outsiders come in too.
And
That's not an uncommon thing within other centers.
And the community lunch is the lunch on Tuesdays.
Correct.
And so you're asking for 5,000 for the community lunch from the patrons. And you had 2 options for the Burbank.
Yes.
What are those, because they aren't written here, what are those 2 options?
So, let me go back in. 10,000 for Burbank to pay in totality for the fitness programs for the next 5 months.
Yeah, so discussion. Yes, Kate and then Jean.
Well, I just wanna say, it would have been very helpful to bring that out, because I'm a little confused too. So you gave us two
This is-
$10,000 options. The second one that you just mentioned was the 10,000 would simply pay for the fitness for the next, I forget what you said.
So that the
6 months.
revolving fund can grow.
Okay, so under that one, I'm assuming that what you're saying is you're gonna continue to charge participants. And that money would go into the revolving
Correct,
fund?
correct.
Okay, so we would be actually underwriting the cost, but you'd still be charging participants.
Right,
Okay, and your.
and it would be
first-
weekly charged.
And the first option was you want a buffer. You just want $10,000 given.
And we wouldn't,
And then it would be used if participant fees don't pay the total
correct,
cost.
correct.
And then there just might be some unexpended sum of money from that 10,000 you're
Correct,
saying.
Correct.
Okay,
It's basically to build up a slush fund in the revolving fund, is what the point is.
well, but
Either
the
way,
first one doesn't sound like it builds up the revolving fund.
not
the
as,
first one
no,
is
the finance
creating-
department felt it would be better to do the second option.
Yeah, the second one is clear on how that would help the
Right.
revolving fund. The first one just sounds like the buffer actually becomes sort of the slush fund. that
Well, the
you're just
reason is
paying,
because
so.
instructors,
No, I get the reasoning. I'm just trying to
yeah,
understand the mechanism.
they
of the
didn't,
vote.
they were canceling classes if they didn't have enough people.
I get
Was
that.
the,
Jean and then Marilyn. And I do also want to go over the amount that we do available. I did send it out as a packet, but I do want to, if people have a question about what we actually have available to us through the interest, but Jean, go ahead.
Now, the 10,000 is for how many months?
probably, I would guess 5, right, Jenna? Do you think it's about 5? Yeah.
Yes, I did a new calculation with the current programs that we're running. With the intention obviously of adding a couple more. And that's where we're at, around 2,000 a month or 24,000 per year. So it would give us about 5 months at the 2,000. And maybe more if you decide on option 1, because if there's somehow a big uptick in participation because we went back to the weekly, then it kind of becomes a moot point that we wouldn't really need that offset buffer, but we just don't know.
Another question. Do we have a donation fund? Do you have a donation fund? And what's the total in that donation fund?
Is it 50,000, Jenna?
Yeah, it might be
Six.
back, it might be back up to 50 with our donations that we just got in, but I don't know offhand what the amount is. We tend to use that as a last ditch resort, and would prefer to use something that's, accruing interest and has a lofty amount of money in it, like the trust fund. We think that's a far better option at this point than dipping into the donation accounts that kind of just sit there. So
But is the donation fund put into account that's used, that is gaining interest is one question. The second question is, what is the limit that we can disperse from the trust funds annually? Is there a limit?
Interest.
Just the interest? And with the
Yes.
economy the way it is, I don't think we could give $10,000.
You can expand that up to.
yes, so from the Burbank Fund, there's and Karen sent this out, there's a $95,000 expendable amount that you can spend right now in the interest. However, at any time with a majority vote, you can change that to expend however much money you want that's currently in the fund. And you have the authority to also vote. I know there was a concern before that you didn't think that the use of the funds was for weekly programs and you weren't in favor of doing the fitness programs, but you can also vote to change that as well. So we verified that with finance.
So just to review, I can explain what we have available.
And I just threw up my 2 things. One is, I know what you're gonna share with us. I question whether we actually have that much interest in this fiscal year's profit from the Burbank account, and I question the 90,000, but Karen's going to explain it, and I hope to understand it. The other is, you're talking about, it sounds like somewhere between 24 and 30,000 for the 12-month window, which I believe is way over 1 year of interest, which we could do for a while, because we didn't do anything while we used up ARPA, but it will run out. Oh, and the third question is, did we get clarification on that policy that said that we are not allowed to overcharge for elder services programs? So we can't be building the revolving fund by overcharging for the costs of an event. Did that get changed? I'm done.
Okay, so I did share the Elder Services Trust Funds. I did meet with Diane Moravito and Sharon Engstrom last week. Carrie and Jenna also joined. And so Diane is the town treasurer, Sharon Engstrom is the town accountant. And so it was very informative. I sent out the Elder Services Trust Fund document for people to have a chance to look at, and I don't know, Jenna, if that would be helpful, if you want to share it as well. So it showed a balance of July 1st, 2025 of the 3 trust funds that we have responsibility over. The Burbank Fund, the Patient for Older Adults Fund, and the Laura Parsons Funds. There are 3 trust funds. The original amounts, the non-expendables, total is 347,687. That's in the line all the way to the left. The it's
one.
it's like
It's about in the middle of it.
yeah, sorry, Kate, it's not on that.
That's all right.
It's an easier form. Jenna, do you have it to share? Okay, well, you're looking.
I don't think what you sent out provided that. I just opened up the documents. But hold on, let me click the link that's living inside of this email to see if that gives me what I need.
It's labeled
Yeah.
Elder Services Trust Funds. So, okay, and then the expendable, at the beginning of the fiscal year of 2025, it gives the totals at that time. Then it shows the investment income total was 13,000, and that was through February 2026. And then it shows the expenditures that we have tapped into from the trust fund so far this fiscal year. And again, it reinforces the non-expendable columns as of June 3rd, 2026. And so the expendable amount is taken into consideration, the investment in income that had been accrued and the expenditures. And it shows in the last column to the right what our current expendable amount is. There it is on the screen. So it's what we have from those 3 funds is 156,269, which is the interest income that has been accrued since these trust funds began. So we
And
also.
I think I heard you say that this information, the source for it, was the town treasurer. Is that correct? Because that wasn't indicated in your email.
It was from the town treasurer and the town accountant.
Okay.
And the other thing, some of us, we've seen the figure of 388,000 for the Burbank Fund. And that is what motivated me. And I know some of us have had the question, what does this mean? And the $388,000 amount for the Dorothy Burbank Trust Fund is actually, oh my goodness, word finding problems. What?
Principal plus interest?
No, it is the unrealized gains that the town accountant and the town treasurer have to show as part of their reporting to the state. So that's why we have that $388,000 figure. If we were to disperse that fund today, that is the amount that it would be worth today. But that is not how it works when we think about accessing the interest amount.
Yeah. My question is, how are they defining expendable? In the past, when they have done that, they've gone back to the original document and said, we can spend it any way we want. And yes, but we do have a policy that says only spend the interest. This 95,000, I would bet you a hot fudge sundae with a cherry on top, is the sum of the interest over the last X many years. And that's not taking out expenses, it's just saying this is what you earned.
Right.
And we need to know year by year what got actually subtracted out of that. So out of the interest part, what's left? That's the piece I keep asking for.
But Marilyn, if you look on the screen, it shows the expendable amount in July 1st of 2025 was 93,610.
But it's not defining what it
But
means by
okay, but let's
expendable.
go across, and then it shows the investment income of 8,184. Then it shows the expenditure of
Are you
6,400.
looking at this one?
Yes,
Yes.
and then it looks at the expenditure of 6,400, so that is deducted from the investment income for this year.
For this year.
And then it does show the expendable total of 95,000. Why do you think that that is different?
Because it's not showing the prior years.
But why do you think that they did it differently based on what we're seeing here?
Because and a million reasons, it wasn't requested when they put in for the report, they're just looking at this year, what did we spend? I mean, I would like to know how they're defining expendable, because on other conversations, it has come up as well, because the original document said we could spend, if we so set the policy, anything we wanted, but 30 years ago, the council set the policy of only spend interest. And we've done well, and it's grown. It's been a conservative but healthy, responsible way to grow a fund. I just want to understand, I could be wrong, but this doesn't convince me until I see the definition of expendable.
Well, and the dates.
And the
I think
dates.
The way the dates are on, I'm sorry.
And the thing that makes me really wonder is in March, when we got this, and we got a lovely report that says year by year on each of the funds, interest income, and that's just interest income, not taking out the expenses. Back then was over 80,000 for Burbank, so, and that was as of last November, so market conditions being what they are, it could be up to 90 something now, but that's just income. That's not taking out the expenses, which is why I asked for year by year expenses so we can see.
So,
So I'm not convinced at all.
okay, I'm looking, I would be, so we need clarification.
Yeah.
Is this somehow different from previous years? Because based on this calendar, this fiscal year, it looks like they've done exactly what you were saying, Marilyn. But you have concerns that they have not been consistently doing it in this manner.
We haven't received this report
We haven't
since FY19. We haven't seen anything.
So, okay,
Well,
That's
because
fine.
we haven't been dispersing any money, we haven't been expending any money out of these accounts until
Yes,
Yes, we
recently.
have.
Since FY19, we certainly have. It was
Yeah.
around
No,
FY22.
when COVID started, so for the past several years, we have not.
Right,
And that's
Until
why
just
I-
till December of last year.
but going back to FY19, we certainly were.
and that's why I also included in the sheet, in the email I sent out today, a historical document that showed the disbursements since like the past 8 years.
But it's not.
That was just to give, that was
That's a
just to
grand
give,
total.
and that was just to show people what we have historically dispersed through the trust funds over the years. So it
And what
goes
I'm
back
saying
to,
is these numbers have not been subtracted out of those numbers.
and we aren't sure about that, but we.
That's
can-
right, it's a
yeah.
question. That's my question.
Okay,
I would be happy to be
Okay.
wrong. I'd be
I
happy
hope
to
you
say,
are wrong,
I'd be
based
happy
on-
to say, take 100,000 and go with it. My other questions still stand. My understanding of the policy, unless you found a way to change it, is that we're not allowed in elder services to charge more than the cost of the program. So I don't know how this revolving fund is gonna grow except through random gifts. And that seems to be a cornerstone of this policy. And the other one, I forget right now, but there was a third
Yeah.
concern.
and Jenna, we did bring up that question about the making money, that we can charge above what we're paying to our to our instructors?
Yes, because there's other
That's what-
unanticipated fees that go along with programs like refunds. Right now, a member in public comment said that, they'd prefer to get their money back completely and not use towards the next program. But if it's $5 a class and they want that money back, it's $10 for a refund. So right now we're just eating that cost. And that's why we're charging the non-residents more, so we can afford to do refunds and things like that. But yeah, there's unanticipated costs that come along with these programs. There's, if you're running a lunch, you have to buy the plates and you have to buy the coffee and you have to buy all of these other miscellaneous items. So that's the point when you're charging for programs, is to charge the amount that you think it would be, without like price gouging, obviously, but there's other unanticipated costs that you have to account for in that cost. And then also like the rentals right now. The rentals, we're going to look into creating a rentals revolving fund, but right now those go into the revolving fund as of recently. So we can use those to offset our programming fees too, but that's not like a large amount. So, but that's another way that we can build up the revolving fund.
You're saying if you have to refund $5, you're charged $10? Is that because the credit card process was initiated? Why the $5 extra? Did I misunderstand that?
Yeah, that's just a protocol on refunds through the software systems, and just as an administrative thing that it costs the town. So if we were to process credit card refunds, I think it might even be more. So for example, I think Lexington even charges $25 for a refund. So whatever you pay, they charge, you can't go to the class. Yeah, you get a refund less $25 because that's what it costs to have it's the transactional fee to process the refund.
But Jenna, you made the point earlier that you're going to a weekly registration. When is that starting?
Well, it's pending what goes on here tonight. If if you guys decide to table it until you get a little bit more information about the trust fund, then you could revisit it at the next meeting. But that is dependent on funding. So we can't just start it now with the donation that we got and then hope that we'll get trust fund money after that. We really need to make sure that whatever we're implementing now is sustainable, at least for the next year, or 6, 7 months till we get to the override. So that's kind of where we're at.
Can I continue on my question? We have a shortfall within the Elder and Human Services Division. Is that because it wasn't requested for an increase in the annual budget to run EHS? And I don't feel at this point, if the trust funds are to be generated and given, it's just, am I correct, for physical activity, exercise programs? What about the other programs that we might want to sponsor from the trust fund that are different, where our money is gone for the year?
We're trying our hardest right now to make most of the program, a lot of the programming that Ann is implementing does not cost. With cultural grants, with fees from instructors, we're trying our hardest to get those people to come in. Unfortunately, though, a lot of these people want to be paid. The fitness instructors want to be paid for the classes.
Well, that's their business.
Right, it's their job. And we don't have the funds to support that.
But why is my question? I don't
Because
understand.
we didn't get an increase in our budget.
Why? Was it asked?
Yeah, we did ask about the funding for the past couple of years. The intention was always to be in a position where we could get that money back to sustain the level of programs that we wanted to. However, we know that in the past couple of years, the override's been being discussed. So we were asked, and I know Jane has come to these meetings and spoke about this as well in depth, and said that, hey, everyone was told level funded budgets. The town does not have any more money right now. So right now, we're just asking if the Council on Aging is willing to expend some of these trust funds so we can at least, keep these fitness programs going on a weekly basis instead of a monthly basis, because that's what the people there would like. And it's a funding issue, and the staff is getting beat up about it. And I understand that, and we're pretty strong and resilient, right, Carrie and Janet? But just getting us through this time and seeing what happens with the override, we would just really appreciate it if the trust funds could help us out.
Okay, I would like to just put a hold on this conversation right now, because I know Ron does need to leave. We'll come back to this because it is going to be a possible vote. I am going to take the small space recal discussion and vote out of order.
Ron, would you like me to share your proposal? Okay.
But that would be great if you could, Jenna. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Let me just, so. And thank you, Madam Chair, for considering that request to take it out of order. Appreciate it. All right, so over the past several weeks, I've spent a considerable amount of time reviewing the divider study that BH&A prepared back in March, the cost estimate, and also the town's proposed makerspace alternatives, which I think were a very serious initiative on the part of the town. So thank you for that. The more I've looked at the information, my thinking has evolved over time. I still think there's real value in adding space for smaller programs, like support groups, shine appointments, meetings, and other activities that don't necessarily require a large room. I don't think that underlying need has changed, but at the same time, after reviewing the study and the estimate provided by BH&A, I have a much better appreciation for the town's concerns regarding cost, scope, timing, and overall project stewardship. So the proposal we're discussing is not simply a room divider in the ordinary sense. It's a highly integrated overhead acoustic partition system with significant associated construction costs. I like to refer to it, the proposal that BH&A gave us is like the Cadillac of partition systems when we're really looking for a Toyota. But in response to those concerns, the town has proposed makerspace alternatives for room 230, intended to provide additional flexibility for smaller programs. Of those alternatives, well, I should probably just talk at a high level. Option one proposes taking the room 230 and providing approximately 500 square feet, I think it's a little bit less than that, space for small programs. So that with chairs and a conference table that can accommodate approximately up to 18 people, maybe more. Option two proposes a smaller room, approximately 365 square feet, with an outer space for computers. And that's option two. I think of those two options, I believe option one comes closest to addressing the original objective, which was to provide small program space. So the divider, as you may recall, was to take the flex program room, divide it into two equally sized 500 square feet spaces for small programs. And that was something that the council discussed and voted on and supported that concept. Option one creates a small program room about that size. So it does achieve creating the right size space for small programs. And that could support current needs. So I believe option one comes closest to that objective. And as I thought about it more, I've increasingly come to view this as two separate questions. So one is the divider itself. Like, what do we want to do for the divider? And then the second question is, which makerspace option best achieves the need for right size space for small programs. So again, I think option one is the better option. That's what I prefer, but certainly up for the council to discuss both options. And as far as the divider, sorry, Jenna, can you go back to the top of the page there? So this is what the architect quoted. So the quote is for the partition itself, which was approximately 100. Sorry, I can't see it. 130. A little small for me. $137,500. But there's also other changes that are associated with the cost that possibly go in right now, or at least we can ask the architect to go back and say which of these costs can go in. One of these, the structural beam, is going to go in whether or not we proceed with the divider or not. That structural beam is going in to support the gym that's above the flex program room. So that really should not be part of this project. But these other costs, like the finishes to the bulkheads, the AV equipment, the electrical, HVAC, fire protection, security, wood blocking, it's possible that some of these could be implemented now and would open the door for possibly installing a partition later should the need arise. So what I was proposing, because I think there is some uncertainty about whether or not the town feels that there's a need for a partition, or based on demand, whether it would even be used. So maybe it makes sense to plan for the possibility, put in the enabling structure to support it down the road, and then reassess after a few years of operation whether or not the partition is needed. That would ensure that if there was a need for it in the future, that the cost would be minimalized by putting these changes that we could put in now, these enabling features in now. So my proposal is to move forward with the makerspace room 230 option one, and then actually defer action on putting the divider itself, but asking VHNA to examine which of these additional enabling components, these items, can be added now, and what would be the cost savings if we implemented them now versus 2 to 3 years down the road, should we see the need for the partition arise in the future.
So Ron, I have a question for you. You have, the COA has unanimously endorsed the concept of a divider. So
Yes.
and that has been shared with the PBC.
Yes, it has.
And you are proposing, you are bringing this proposal to them tonight
Yes.
at the PBC meeting.
Yes.
So nothing really has changed about that. We are, unless anybody wants to wants to undo a unanimous vote. So I'm just wondering.
So our vote was to encourage the permanent building committee to consider a divider as a means to provide for small programming needs, for current and future small programming needs. That it has done. I mean, it has considered it. It hasn't voted on it. It's on the agenda tonight, up for a possible vote. The town has, I think, consistently expressed concern that it's a significant amount of cost to implement something that may or may not be used. I think there is some uncertainty about what the demand is going to be when Recal opens for small programs. I think there are differing views on that. So I understand the hesitation and reservation to put in a fairly expensive project that there's uncertainty about its use. But that doesn't prevent us from putting in the enabling infrastructure to put it in the future should that need arise.
So
So what we're proposing,
you'll continue to let them know that we have endorsed the concept of a divider during that discussion tonight as our PVC representative. Okay.
yes.
Yes. Thank you.
And-
And are you also looking then for discussion about the makerspace option? Because to be honest, I would propose a third option.
I have a third option.
So my third option would be that the makerspace moves to the arts and crafts room, because that's a larger space, and arts and crafts is very often considered part of a makerspace.
Karen, Karen, if I could just interrupt you, just to continue the thought on the divider, what I'm actually proposing is that if the permanent building committee decides not to move forward with the divider, that we're proposing that they at least move forward with considering the enabling infrastructure changes to support a divider in the future. That's the motion I would like to make tonight at the permanent building committee. And I would like to say, I'd like to be able to tell the permanent building committee that the Council on Aging has considered the matter.
Can we, okay, that's up to us. Personally, I feel like the PBC, that's what they have been put in charge of by the town. So it would be interesting to hear their conversation as well. Yeah, Jean.
Yes, and one of the things they're going to ask is have you discussed it with the Council on Aging, and what is its point of view? So that's why I believe.
I don't know.
We're micromanaging the PVC, and that's what I'm a little concerned about. Yes, Jean.
Okay,
No, we're not. No, we're not. No, I'm offering this as a alternative for the permanent building committee to consider. And the first question they're going to ask is, have you brought this forward before the Council on Aging? We're not telling them what to do. We're proposing an alternative to the divider.
Yeah.
no, I didn't go yet.
Oh, you were still raising your hand, sorry. Jean.
I can see. My thought is this, the makerspace in the arts and crafts room were given much thought from day one of the needs for the seniors and also intergenerational usage. Definitely the mechanics has to go in if they're not going to put the full unit in. You have to make sure if we're putting those mechanics in and 2 years down the road, the wall that needs to be submitted and installed coordinates with the mechanics that are in. Because a lot of this equipment is discontinued constantly. Has it ever been considered? We have 3 conference rooms in this building that I'm quite sure that are not going to be utilized all the time, versus taking the makerspace or the arts and crafts room. Why can't there be a schedule in the interim, to use the conference rooms, put the conference rooms on a calendar? It's open. You can use this space for a program. No, someone else is going to be using it. We have a massive conference room on the 2nd floor. If a door is put in at the billiards room, that is usable. The veterans have a conference room, and there's another conference room in another location. So definitely go for the mechanics if a wall is not going to be included. That's mine, but there's alternate to use small space in the interim versus taking away from the makerspace or the arts and crafts.
North Andover ran into this issue when that was built about 2.5 years ago. They could not afford the physical divider, but they put in the ceiling mechanics. I haven't been up there in a while, but a few months ago, I was told it is in this year's budget. And this year, they're very happy to be putting in the divider that they couldn't afford then. And everyone's really happy and sees it. And that's the model we're looking after. It's not an unusual proposal. In terms of the options, personally, I would break them apart. I think the putting in the ceiling stuff is one thing to vote on. I think a second thing is, do we want to do something to combine the makerspace, which is really just moving the equipment from makerspace into the arts and crafts room. Personally, I think that makes tremendous sense because I think there are arts and crafts that will use makerspace equipment and make it a full conference room for all purposes in what's currently called makerspace. And also, we will graciously accept access to that conference room that's way within rec as well. I think that's been well established. That could be used for multiple purposes.
I think it's very important to point out that the options for the makerspace will provide small program space for current needs, but it doesn't address the future needs at all. That can only be addressed, I think, by utilizing the flex room that way and adding the partition. The town has said that they don't want to spend that money. They don't see the need. They don't see the demand. But
Okay,
that
Ron.
doesn't prevent us from putting those changes in place to support it in the future.
Well, they
Kate,
have to,
excuse me,
they
Kate
have
had
to,
her
go
hand
ahead.
raised. Kate,
I just want to say, I think our previous vote supporting a divider would lend credibility to the argument that whether we take a vote or not, the Council on Aging would support putting the infrastructure in for a divider down the road, because it still would get us to the principle we voted on. And yes, maybe it makes sense, as Ron is saying, that you then have time to test this out, but the structure is there.
Yeah.
Well, I think they also need to consider you're going to have a 55 and to a 65 plus, which are classified age bracket, which are classified seniors. They're a working group. They're going to want activities in the evening and on the weekend. So if you have a divider in there, we can't put the full unit in now. Mechanics definitely need to go in. The town is growing. We have to look at the population that is below the 70, 80, and 90 group. You have to think about the young. They're young, 55 to 65. Time goes by fast. They're going to want I hear it all over town, within my own kids. They're going to need extra small space.
so we are all in agreement and that's what-
Absolutely.
we're all in agreement in terms of the need of the small space.
Absolutely.
I do think that our previous vote does cover this as well. So Ron, you can again reiterate the previous vote that we are in support of the divider. I know that you do need to leave and I know we want to continue on with our meeting. Would anyone like to make a vote about some of the options for the makerspace that Ron can then discuss? Because I do think that is something that they will ask. Carolyn.
I think we need two motions. I think we need a motion in support of installing the ceiling equipment now, because that's
Thank you.
it's a distinct financial
Right,
plan. And the
exactly.
financial plan
Yes.
has been their big issue, and it's distinct. So I would like to make a motion, if I may, that the council respectfully asks the PCB to consider or reconsider, because this did come up very briefly in the conversation, installing, and Ron, please give me the correct wording for whatever the hardware should be up there.
Enabling structure to support a partition.
VC.
Mechanical.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second,
And further discussion? Hearing none. So we're voting on this is the first motion.
Could I add to that? Are we gonna do something else?
Well, any discussion?
I suggest that we support the mechanics within the ceiling. If they feel, the PBC feels they don't want to put the complete,
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's.
but for the divider.
So amending.
What is the amendment again? I'm confused.
If it is not, I recommend we put in a complete wall unit, including the mechanics, complete.
We've already
For
done.
divider. We voted on that, but tonight, if they go forward, just the mechanics would be doable.
So is that an amendment? Isn't that what Marilyn has said?
She did, but I'm afraid that if we don't
Yeah.
put it either or, they won't take it.
You're saying if they stick to their guns and do not want to put the full thing in, we're asking that they consider putting in the ceiling,
The
whatever it
The
is.
But that
council,
was your
That's what-
motion.
well, yes.
I didn't say that. I just said we recommend.
Well, that's
The
what,
amendment would
where-
be that if they don't. They put in the infrastructure if they don't vote to approve a full part.
Right.
Right.
do you?
How-
I accept the friendly amendment.
How about this? I motion, in the event that the permanent building committee elects not to proceed with installation of a divider in the flex room, I move the Council on Aging recommend that the permanent building committee and project team evaluate whether structural support, electrical rough-ins, ceiling accommodations, or other reasonable infrastructure elements can be incorporated during construction to preserve the option of future divisibility of the flex room and report back to the feasibility and estimated cost of such accommodations.
Yes, yes, yes.
What is the begin, so are you withdrawing your motion then, Marilyn?
I'm accepting friendly amendments
Well,
of everything
that's
I've
that.
said.
You should withdraw your motion.
I'll withdraw my motion and defer to Ron's.
And Ron, read the beginning again, because there
Yep.
was,
In the event that the permanent building committee elects not to proceed with installation of a divider in the flex room, I move that the Council on Aging recommend that the permanent building committee and project team evaluate whether structural support, electrical rough-ins, ceiling accommodations, or other reasonable infrastructure elements can be incorporated during construction in order to preserve the option of future divisibility of the flex room, and then report back on that feasibility and estimated cost of such accommodations.
all right, so the key words at the beginning were I move to evaluate.
Right.
That was the word I was waiting for. Okay, so you move that they will evaluate.
And I second that motion.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, so we're just asking them to evaluate that.
Yes.
Evaluate that
Correct.
proposal that you are making.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, roll call. John Parsons,
Yes.
Rosemary De Benedetto,
Yes.
Kate Harrington,
Yes.
Jean Prado,
Yes.
Carolyn Shepherd.
Yes.
Ron Powell,
Yes.
Don Szynski. Karen Janowski, yes. All right, is there a motion about the makerspace?
You wanna make it, Ron?
Well, there's a lot of, yes, do you have a motion?
I have a question.
Well, let's
Let's
get
go
a
in
motion
discussion.
and then we'll have a discussion.
Could we wait to see what they say tonight and then,
You're talking about August.
no, we can meet in July.
Where are they gonna meet?
No, they're discussing the
Yes,
makerspace tonight.
tonight.
They're discussing with a possible vote tonight. That's why both of these motions were important. Can I take a crack at it?
Sure. Brief, I hope it's God is long.
No. I move that the Council on Aging express its support for Makerspace Option 1 as the preferred alternative among the options presented by the town, recognizing that it appears to best address the need for additional small program space.
Is there a second?
Can I amend it, or is that discussion?
Well, is there a second?
Yes.
There's no seconds.
Are you gonna amend it?
Okay, is there another motion?
I amend, I accept what.
Oh, wait, nobody
You move.
seconded it.
I know.
So you need to move, you need to make a motion.
I wanna make a motion, or how do you make an amendment?
Well, you're making a new motion because nobody
All right,
seconded
I'd like to
this
make a
one.
motion that the Council on Aging express its support for option 1 versus option 2, with the caveat that it would be best to move the makerspace equipment into the big arts and crafts room.
That's really two different ideas.
Yeah,
It's a different model. It's model 0 as opposed to 1 and 2.
and you could propose that
Right.
as a whole new alternative, you could ask.
All right, then I'll
Just
stick with Ron.
propose that,
All right.
and Ron would say the council discussed this.
All right,
and-
okay, then
Is there a
stick-
second
I'll
for
second-
Ron's?
I'll second Ron's.
Okay, is there discussion? Rosemary, you had a question?
I do have a question. We're talking about 500 square feet, which I have no idea how big that is. Knowing the size of the rooms here in this building. Would 500 square feet compared to like where they play mahjong? Because if so,
No.
that's small.
No,
That's
it's actually bigger.
This room is
It's
1,000, I
700.
believe. Huh? This room is approximately 1,000. So half of this.
Yeah, no, it's about 700 is my understanding.
Carrie should know.
Makerspace.
No.
Jenna,
Wait a minute, I have it here. Hold on.
No, that's the divider thing.
Tell us how big is 500?
Somebody's saying
I have
700.
it. I have it, if I could read it.
Yeah, but they're talking about this one right here, we're sitting there.
No, but
This-
Jenna would know the size of the makerspace. Is Jenna still
Oh,
online?
I thought you-
No, she-
The rooms that we use upstairs are small.
Yes,
If
it's
those are
bigger.
500 square feet.
No,
this
it's
is
big.
small.
bigger, it's
This is
bigger than
bigger.
those spaces. Okay,
Are you sure?
Yes.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
definitely. So, so I do have a point I'd like to bring up. I am not in support of option one. I do believe that we need a larger makerspace area. I think in terms of thinking of the future, it's interesting. I visited several other town senior centers, and what two of them said to me is the arts and crafts spaces are being less utilized, which they find very interesting. And so I think as we think about the future, people are looking into using more innovative approaches. So I do think a larger space is going to be important. And I do very much want the small space that is currently defined as the makerspace. I think that that is a perfect location for many of the smaller activities that will happen, like 12 to 20 people. I think it's an ideal space for that. One of the things that when I spoke with Pat Tompkins last week, his proposal was that they would set up the electrical that would allow either space to be set up in that way. But I am not in support of this motion.
Well, I don't understand why you're against option one, because you made a very strong argument just now for option one.
Yeah,
Because option
So-
one is keeping the makerspace there.
where do you want to put it?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
It doesn't make a decision.
That's what I'm-
All it's doing is it's proportioning that room 230 to support small programming.
But in that.
It's not
option,
making a final determination on what to do with the makerspace.
I thought it, to
I
me,
thought it
I
did.
thought that option one is saying, set up the makerspace for both small groups and the makerspace. And that's the way I'm interpreting it. And that's why I want to be clear that I want the makerspace to be moved to a larger area that I think is more forward thinking. And the smaller space, which we seem to all be in agreement of the need for, would remain in what is currently called the makerspace.
Room 230, yeah.
Room 230, yes. Now, Kate, you ready to hand up?
Well, I was just gonna say, I agree with that viewpoint. Either, I mean, my ultimate frustration is that in saying we don't need to divide it because we don't need small spaces, but because we wanna placate you, we're gonna
Right,
compromise
exactly.
two other rooms to create a small
Right,
space.
exactly.
Out of that option, I like the concept of merging the makerspace and the arts and crafts and having a truly small program space. And I took it to mean exactly the same thing that you just told Ron, that option one isn't doing what we're saying in this.
So you want to make a motion?
If we take the makerspace, am I correct? They're going to keep a table and chairs in there, like a continuous conference room or something for people to go in and sit around table? Well, the purpose of putting a divider in and having two open floor plans,
All right, Virginia, you already voted on that.
what I know, but by them taking that makerspace, I feel it's going to be, we're never going to get a divider vote. They're going to say it's a small space, but the purpose from the beginning was to have a makerspace in an arts and crafts room, which we do not have here now, I say just go for the divider and do the
So can that,
mechanics.
All right,
So-
so any other comment? Because we can vote on your motion, Ron.
But then we can have a motion.
Let's see how the motion goes.
All right.
All right, so would you mind reading back the motion, Ron, so we can be clear on what we're voting for?
yeah, I move that the Council on Aging express its support for Makerspace Option 1 as the preferred alternative among the options presented by the town, recognizing that it appears to best address the need for additional small program space.
Thank you. We have a second. So we'll have a roll call on that vote. John Parsons,
Yes.
Rosemary DiBenedetto. Yes. Kate Harrington. No. Jean Prado. No. Marilyn Shapley. No. Carolyn Dittine. No. So you know, I mean, Karen Shasky, no. So with that, and Ron Powell, sorry, Ron Powell.
Yes.
So that did not pass by a 3-4 vote. Is there, oh, Marilyn,
I'd like to make a motion that the option you described of moving the makerspace equipment out to combine it in the arts room with the arts and crafts, leaving the current makerspace as an all-purpose program room be adopted. Yeah.
I said. Okay, any further discussion about that?
So what specifically, so the town presented design proposals. Are we not endorsing either of those design proposals?
No. We are not.
Okay.
But we have one that's really close and better.
Well, that's what I think. It's like, I feel like it's basically option 1, except that the makerspace equipment goes in the arts and crafts room.
Exactly.
Am I right?
Right.
Yes.
I mean, what you just stated was option 1, except that the makerspace furniture goes in the arts and crafts room instead,
Yes.
to me.
Can we vote on
There's
that?
not going to be any additional design changes as far as the permanent building committee is concerned regarding the motion that's on the table.
There could be, there might be vents or something.
Right, I
depending on
mean,
what kind of equipment
Yeah,
they have.
there may be minor ones, which is why I think this
Storage,
motion better
yeah.
covers the choice.
Any further discussion? Okay, so again, call vote. Jean Prado,
Yes.
John Parsons.
Yes.
Marilyn Shapley.
Yes.
Rosemary DiBenedetto. Kate Harrington.
Yes.
Ron Powell.
Yes.
Karen Janowski. Yes. So that's a unanimous vote. And so thank you for representing us at the PBC meeting. Some of us will be joining later on. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we go back to the discussion of the trust funds. So we've been discussing, okay, yes.
Well, yeah, if you're ready.
Well, I was just going to try to wrap it up so that we can get to a proposal for a vote.
Okay, I mean, that's fine. My point is that the way we've heard this, oh, no, wait, I think I had a question, but no, I've forgotten that question. But again, my point is just, you came to us with what I think are actually 2 requests, one for either a buffer fund or I forgot what the other one, plus money for meals. The total of which would be about 15,000, looking at the historical document you shared with us. That in and of itself is more than we typically spend, and I think we already appropriated 5,000 earlier, or maybe we're looking at like this, well, yeah, okay.
We did
So-
5.
Yeah, so I'm also worried about the amount of money without having some of the answers to the questions we have about how much money we really have to spend.
So what we did expend is shown in that document, I think with, I don't have it open again. I think it was what, 7,900 was expended from the trust funds for this year, and that is for this fiscal year. So that is less than historical. Once ARPA funding, if you consider ARPA funding, if you consider before ARPA funding. So, we for 2026 fiscal year, we expended less than we normally do historically, if you look at the average. But So now we're thinking about fiscal year 27. And so you are asking for two different amounts. Maybe we go with one tonight until we find out for sure.
Well, I just wanna say that the patrons, if we don't, I mean, the whole point of the community lunch is a social gathering for
Right,
people to be able to eat and enjoy
Right.
each other's company. And if we don't have the funding, it's gonna be canceled.
We're required.
And it'll be-
something out of patrons every year.
Cause it's a lot of money per year to host, to have.
right. So you need an effective July's?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Henry, Kate, okay, then
Well,
Jean.
Thank you, because Carrie speaking's jump started my mind in this direction again. So that was another piece of the thing was, so the 5,000 for the lunches start essentially July as opposed to, so it is going forward. Part of my frustration with both these funds is they come to us as requests without any evidence of long-term planning about what will happen after that. So they're presented as one-time expenditures now, but I don't see the thinking around how you'll continue either the luncheons or the other programming going long-term. But I mean, I'm very supportive of the request for the community lunches and have no problem breaking those two things out and giving community lunches.
What is
Jean
the,
and then Mary.
what is the average cost per lunch?
I'll defer to my,
Currently, the is cost at $6.50 per person for a full sandwich, cookie and chips. So if we're averaging 34 people, I believe it's like 285, 265, somewhere around there. So, and if with the money given, we'll have to cap it rather than we keep it open now. And we have to let the school know a week in advance the number. So if the money appropriated is that much tied to $6.50 a person, then we will cap it at 30 and just keep the number 30. When it was on Monday, lunch is funded by the ARPA funds, we had 50 people in here at $8.50 a person.
So you're averaging what, about 1,500 per lunch?
No, $285 about.
between that,
I'll say 300.
I mean, it depends on if it's egg salad or chicken, but
Right,
like
yeah.
about 285, yeah. Like it can vary about $20 per week depending on the entree.
So it's about 1,200 a month for the lunches.
Yes.
Okay. And how were these lunches paid before ARPA?
ARPA.
Before ARPA?
Mystic Valley, people paid a $2 donation.
People
Food
paid.
was not, we only had about 6 people eating.
I see. Okay, so we're improving the quality of the food.
Using it in schools,
And
yeah.
we're using the schools at a lesser cost, at a
Correct.
reduced cost, and we're providing better food from what I hear.
And potentially employing some of the lunch ladies, down the road at the new building to be able to continue working to prepare like the need they often do.
This is, she signed these strategy with nutritionists. We're trying to change that from what we have been having before, so there's a nutritionist who's on staff for reviewing our menus as well. Jean?
Is there a grant or anything where we don't use Mystic Valley? Can they supplement?
I mean, there's not a lot we applied for different grants, but it's not for funding of the meals per se. Like we applied for a grant, a nutrition grant, to see if we get that, but for these specific meals, we haven't found a grant that will fund the meal programs.
So you haven't tried the new Mystic Valley lunches at all?
It's the same.
The same?
And they were wrong.
And we want to continue to offer them at no cost to,
I mean, my thought for a community lunch, this is just my vision, is that it should be free to bring people to come together, and it might be the one good meal that they eat a week rather than eating a Hungry Man or a frozen, a canned meal. A lot of these people that we come in, we don't know their financial situation. I don't know. And it's a lot of new people. And I would like to be able to offer that.
good, so before we have any more discussion, can we have a motion and then we can? Yes.
I don't have a question, I've just got a lot of thoughts. In the 12 years I've been on the council, we've never spent this type of money that I can remember out of the trust funds. And it concerns me, the donation fund that Carrie talked about is one that does not create any interest, and these do. And I wonder, what is Schroeder doing? Is Schroeder contributing anything to any of
So
this?
the birthday lunch is, I don't know my exact figure, but it's like 10,000.
It's more because we're feeding 50 people, and
50
about
people.
50 per person.
So, I mean,
Is it coming out of Schroeder?
yeah, we could take it out of Schroeder if we needed to, potentially.
Why wouldn't you?
I mean, but why wouldn't,
But,
We
but
used,
at one time, I'm sure, go ahead, John. I was gonna say the same thing you were saying.
but we used to get the Schroeder report. Just the other thing is my thought too. I'm not so sure it wouldn't be a bad idea if we could get Diane Morabito to address the council.
Yes,
So we get a better understanding because it gets confusing.
I agree.
so the other option.
As much as Marilyn and I lock horns, she is finding an awful lot of information in these trust funds that I don't think the rest of us are really finding. Those are just my thoughts.
Marilyn?
I really like the idea of funding the lunch. I would like us to do it to our greatest potential. I'd like it also to be something that we've thought through at least 12 months on the math to say, is this really gonna be sustainable for the whole 12 months? I mean, maybe it's $1 a lunch and we can afford it, you know? I mean, if you look at what, you're looking at taking this from patrons for the lunch. Patrons is averaged between 6 and at most 9,000 a year in interest, going back to 2020. And you're looking for 10,000. It's just tight. I would like to understand the math. Again, you know, if we could do it for $1, I don't think that's a great burden. It might make the difference. I'd
We
like to
can't
see.
take cash.
Pardon me?
We can't take
Well,
cash.
so they give you a credit card for $1. I mean, they sign up for 4 lunches and they give you $4. I mean, I don't want us to fund something that's not sustainable. And this seems like a fairly simple thing because we're not dealing with the what do we pay people and all that. Let's see if we can get the math right on this one. And it would be great to fund it. I think.
I'm telling you, the math is $285 a lunch for 30 people.
So for how much do you need for a full
So if
year?
it's $285 a week, which we can cut it, if you don't want me to do it weekly.
No.
No, we're not.
I'll
saying
do
that.
it.
We want
So it
30.
comes to about 1,500 a
A
month.
month.
It's actually,
Yeah.
yeah, 1,200 a month.
And why stick to 30? This room holds 60. If it's
Because
really
it's more
pumping.
money.
We're just.
I understand, but why
We're
would
trying to keep the costs down so that
But
we
we're
don't
also
have to get
trying to
into
serve
arguments
as
every
many
time
as
we ask.
possible. If we've got a great program that people love, they'll come. If you build it, they will come.
Yes, Jen.
If we open it up, it's open to 50. We get
We
30. An example, I had 35 signed up on last week and I'm only down to 26 because everybody cancels and then we lose
That's
all
right.
of
That's
that
like
money.
when you go- yeah.
So we'd love it to be 50. We have
Love
it
it to
set
be
at
100.
50.
Yeah.
But this is just what's coming, so we're not limiting anyone. We offer it up, it's advertised, we speak about it every event. It is that's who's coming right now.
And I think 30 for a brand new event is pretty impressive.
And we publicize the menu, so everybody knows what it is. Maybe nobody likes egg salad, that's why the numbers are down tomorrow. But like, you know, like this,
Exactly.
but we advertise,
I know-
it's
I know
open
four
up to
people are not
50, but
coming.
this is, we're just telling you what we're getting, and that's what we are
I
planning.
understand. I'm just
But
trying
when
to
they have
look
the chicken
ahead.
parm,
So
so-
we're really successful.
So it's 285 times 52, if
Yeah.
we think about for the year.
Correct.
And so one of the things I'm hearing from Marilyn is, we want this, we want to fund this.
Yes.
And what's 285 times 52? Somebody has a calculator.
She's doing.
Hey Siri,
14,800.
all right, so that's 14,000 that the only way to fund this is through the trust fund.
Correct.
Okay, but now we're also, so you also want us to fund 10,000 towards
Fitness.
for
Yeah.
fitness, so
And
that,
to appease the people so that we don't have a revolt. Which we're already having.
Well, just, sorry, for the
That's-
food alone, you're only asking for how much for 6 months? 5,000?
so what did you say was 52 times 285 was 14,000,
Yeah.
Right,
14 a year.
Yeah.
So it's already
so
not
the
enough.
5 is not even getting a.
Yeah, they're only asking for 10,000, so you're gonna run 4,000 short. I just want us to think through this from at least a 12.
But I can come, I mean, we're gonna have meetings between now and then. I wanted to see the project. So I feel like we get criticized for overestimating and then criticized for underestimating. And I'm getting defensive because it's extremely frustrating as staff. Well, we can't predict who's gonna show up and we don't wanna throw away food, so we wanna cap it, so we're not tossing food. It's just, it's like it's a battle we face here all the time with this population. People come, people don't come. And if I had a crystal ball, I'd be a lot,
But we're
Richard.
projecting that it'll be about 14,000.
that's my projection.
Right, and we,
Asking for 10.
but, and, okay, Kate.
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean,
And
for
then-
me, this isn't, this goes back to the frustration I expressed, whatever we do tonight. Whether we gave you 5,000 for the next few months, 14,000 for a year. Well, I guess not if we did 14,000. What is the long-term plan for maintaining the programs that we're funding in the short term? Jenna threw in something earlier in the comments when we first started this conversation about the upcoming override. Well, you're not gonna be getting an increase in Elder and Human Services budget for FY 28. If you didn't get one for 27, you're not getting it in 28. So where in FY 28 is the 14,000 gonna come from? Where is the extra money to handle whatever issues are happening with fitness programs, et cetera, gonna come from? And I heard you say that you cannot handle cash. And I know that that is a town policy, but I also say it's a town policy. Town policies can be amended, just like we keep being told our council on aging policies can be amended. And if it would be helpful to go back to accepting cash, I can't believe that we can't have that conversation with whoever in the town decided we can handle cash. We handled cash in the past. Someone needs to come and explain what the issues are. Which is not the same as paying instructors cash. I get that issue, but handling cash is a separate question.
No, I agree with Kate. In the past, there was always a little jar or people would collect cash, $3, whatever it was. But also, at one time, for birthday parties, we didn't have lunch, we just had a cake.
We can do that.
I mean, we might have to consider
Yeah,
that
we've
if we
talked about
need,
that.
if we need, we have a budget concern here.
The other thing is patrons in the establishing document says we're to use the income from it, i.e. not the principal. And if all we're getting is as much as 9,000 a year in interest, this is gonna go over that. We're bound by these things. We aren't making them up. I mean, this was part of the gift to the town. We just need to understand the detail and help brainstorm on this. I mean, we want to make this happen. Personally, I don't think $1 a lunch or something like that, if it made the difference, is a prohibitive thing. I think people would think it was fun. What can you buy for $1 these days? Nothing.
Okay, but we knew for the lunches to continue
Yeah,
in the summer, you do need money.
okay.
And for the summer, that's 2 months.
So why can't it come out of the donation fund?
Or Schroeder. Schroeder's no different than Burbank and.
I still don't understand why.
You can't use the donation fund. I'm sorry.
And then
Yeah.
what would we pay for? Because there is still the, because we can't keep shoving it to other, other funds. We are responsible over the Burbank and the patrons and the Parsons Fund. So what are we suggesting will come out of the funds that we do have control over?
That's something we need to
Well,
discuss.
possibly the other sum that they're asking for. Could
Does
come out of
somebody,
the
does somebody want to make a motion?
No, but I
Not
wanna
yet.
state something. I attend the community lunches. They are wonderful. Staff has done a fantastic job of putting it all together. Janet has looked everywhere for the least expensive items. At some point, we have to pay. We have these funds, take the interest out that we need and give it to our staff who was scratching everywhere to save a buck. And are you talking about collecting cash? We're gonna have a revolt here, because people right now are paying cash for anything, they told they can't pay cash. If all of a sudden you say, I'm collecting $1 or $2 or $5, whatever, for the budget,
well, you're doing it for that, how can't we, why can't we pay for the classes? So you can't do that. You cannot do that.
Insurance for like the memory cafe and social services, not for
Yeah.
community.
I still don't understand why the donation fund is so sacred, so untouchable.
What is the donation fund?
I
What is
get
that?
gifts.
What is it?
Gifts.
It's gifts from people, but I don't think we want to make that as a practice to use it for
So we
like,
have we received gifts?
we just got $6,000 this week.
Wow.
It's around
Yeah, I mean, there's
$52.
$50,000 sitting there.
It's separate from friends, it's a separate.
No.
Yeah. it's totally-
Separate from
yes.
friends.
Yeah, separate from friends, yes.
Do people know they can donate? I don't think people know they can
It's in the
donate.
It's
newsletter.
in the newsletter every month.
Friends is in the newsletter.
Oh, we are in the newsletter.
Okay, so we have an issue
More
that
outstanding.
we as a COA need to deal with tonight. There is the community lunch that cannot be continued without funding. And there is also the request for payment for the fitness program while the revolving fund is built up. What are we going to do about this? Jean, is this a motion?
You know, I'm not gonna make a motion, I want clarification. I think this needs more discussion. Is there a possibility to do a special meeting just to discuss this and review the
What
budget?
additional information do you feel we need?
Well, this was just presented to us tonight. We have a lot of questions. Should we take it out of this fund, this fund? Why not the donation funds? I think the council needs to review the length and more detail of what the dollar amount is gonna be.
So one of our options, because we did know that we have been telling staff to come to us asking for money, so they have come to us
Right.
asking for money. We can do something short term.
Well, I agree with that.
We can, but I really do believe as a council, it is our responsibility, to fund something, yes, Tom.
I just think that we've got to address the lunches. It's been pointed out here, it's a social event.
Right.
We're gonna try to grow the organization. And it seems that, yes, there's some people that cancel at the last minute, but there seems to be a strong base here. I think we're missing an opportunity as seniors to address this. I think tonight we should leave here understanding that we've committed to the lunches for next year. I don't know if we have to commit for the whole year. I
6 months.
apologize.
You could do 6 months.
Then that would be my suggestion. I would like to see at least a half a year and get a better picture of where we are financially. But I think tonight, the council should commit.
Okay, I
so
need
you
a
can move
motion
forward.
so that we
Well,
can
do we
continue
still have
this
discussion?
discussion. We will have discussion after we have we need the motion first, then we can continue the discussion. You're making motion?
I make a motion.
Thank you,
I
Marilyn.
make a motion to continue this discussion, but meanwhile, to keep us a really valuable program floating, I would say that we authorize up to $2,400 for lunches for community lunch through the summer. And meantime, we set up specific meetings to get into the detail and think, how can this work long-term? Because again, we are limited by law on how much we can take out of patrons. So it means we've got to think about maybe take some out of, it's a big discussion. It's not and we still don't know, I know you believe you know, but I don't believe that we have the right answer on what expendable means. We still have answers to be answered, so we still do not know how much money we truly have.
And
All right,
is there,
so I'll second that
excuse
motion.
me, is there a second?
I second it.
Yeah, that was very lengthy.
I
So
know.
you're moving to fund 2,400, up to 2,400
out of
for the-
patrons.
out of patrons.
Can I have-
And John, you seconded it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and now there's discussion?
I still want to get an answer as to why it's sacred that it can't be touched.
Same reason it's sacred, but we can't touch Burbank.
It's
Oh,
not.
We go through.
I just
rules.
seconded something to what I said was patrons. If she had said Burbank, I would have seconded that too.
I mean,
I want to
it's
keep the
I
money.
think that people, I think a lot of people that donate want to see like things done in honor of their family or in a memory or something
Feeding
that's
others
not
isn't
just.
an honor of their family.
Right, but
Do they make any specific
sometimes
requests?
people do, yeah, sometimes they do.
Well,
They
my
know
other
this.
thought is though, you mentioned for 2 months on that first motion. that is not gonna give programming sufficient time.
Right, this is just for the funding for the food. Yeah.
Right, but they still have to put in the programs a month and a half in advance,
That's
like
a
for
different vote.
September.
That's a whole different
That's a
thing.
different vote.
But how are they gonna notify? Am I right, Carrie, that you need?
Yeah,
Let's finish the lunch.
let's just stick to the
But if we're
lunch
only giving
motion.
them money for 2 months, the third month, they're not gonna be able to hold
Well,
it.
we can
We
discuss
will
it
be
in August.
discussing it again.
Or, you know, we do have a downward. People don't come as much in the summer, they travel, so there could be a shift.
Okay, so we're
and the
not
lunches
just
might be
saying
cheap.
this
I don't
summer,
know.
we're just saying 2 months.
We're saying up to $2,400.
Yeah, it could be
But not,
that could last
but
us
not
through
July and
September,
August,
yeah.
okay.
Any other, okay,
I just want to make, so I was thinking about that for summer. So when is the cutoff to make a reservation for lunch? I should know this because I read it, but I don't remember.
It's the Thursday prior.
So the Thursday prior, and then you put the orders in. I
They order
assume
it on Thursday.
Yeah.
And then we
okay.
have the lunch on Tuesday.
So if it does begin to taper off, you might have some heads up and you can.
Oh, it'll be
reduce the number
less,
that
right,
you do.
exactly, yeah.
Okay.
all right, any further discussion? Roll call vote, Jean Prato,
Yes.
Doug Parsons,
Yes.
Carolyn Shapley.
Yes.
Rosemary Benintendi.
What am I voting on, just $2,400?
Up to $2,400 for community lunches for 2 months.
Yeah, out of,
For the, yes,
as long as
gonna,
Out of discuss it
in the future for more money?
Yes.
yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yes. Karen Janowski, yes. I think what we want you to understand too, Carrie, is we want these things to continue. And so we want to fund them. We are concerned about the sustainability.
I'm
Yeah.
concerned about this.
Right, so,
Right now.
yeah, and that's, I think, so this passed unanimously. So you have funding for the next 2 months. We really believe that this is a value. That's what I heard from every member tonight. But we are concerned about the sustainability and, you know, making sure. So, Kate, you have a motion?
Are you waiting for that motion?
Yeah.
So the rest of the money? Yeah, I'm not making that big.
Okay. All right, but so, yes, Rosalie, when will funding for this center for the food be discussed again? And. It will be on the agenda of the next meeting, because we need to. We've got a temporary mandate, and so what we want to do is, come up with something which is annual, or can work together to see what we can do. We do now, tell us, we do also need a trust fund vote, on programs.
Yeah.
And. So that was a while ago, can you tell us again?
Sure can. We are requesting a buffer from Burbank, $10,000. We will run weekly classes instead of sessions. We'll get rid of the sessions, which is what everybody wants to get rid of. Nobody wants to do the sessions because people can't commit to 4 classes. It'll get rid of refunds. It'll get rid of the whole issue we're coming up with is people not signing up for the classes because they can't commit to 4 of them. I think it'll create an increase of attendees to come to the classes if they can pay weekly and pre-register for the class and pay $5 each week. And I think we'll see an uptick of clients participating because of that. So with that being said, if a certain amount of participants do not sign up for that given day, then these funds will still allow us to pay the deficit owed back to the instructors because the instructors are naming the price for the class, not us, not Jenna, not Jane Wellman. The instructors have said they want to make this much money or they're not coming. So in order for us to pay the instructors, we need a buffer because we don't have any money in the revolving fund to pay the instructors the amount they wish to receive to run the class.
So it's essentially, you're asking for 10,000. The point is then you will have enough in a revolving fund that you will no longer need
Correct.
money to supplement the program.
Correct.
How does that add money to the revolving fund? It doesn't.
So, because all the money then goes into the revolving fund,
Correct.
Goes in.
but it,
but it's paying for itself. And we don't make money here. The money that comes in goes directly to the instructor. The money that comes from extra money would be so that if people cancel or don't come to the class, we can still pay the instructor.
I get that point, but we're gonna give you $5,000. Let's say for this week, you need, you have $100 in obligations to instructors. You only get $75 from people signing up.
Right,
So you
right.
need $25 out of this. What you're taking the money out of is the $5,000 pot of money we're giving you. And over time, and we have no idea how long the time period would be, that money may be expended.
Right.
I don't see how that feeds the revolving fund in any way. It becomes a revolving fund.
Only if the numbers are above what we're paying the.
Well, then that goes to the question that was asked earlier that we don't have an answer for, which is, can you then put that money in the revolving fund? Because we're not supposed to charge more than a program cost, so I'm a little still confused on
But
it.
Jenna said, because that was something that I asked about in terms of approving that pamphlet, it was about events as opposed to programs, and Jenna said that there, yes, you can pay more, you can get more than what, you can bring in more than you pay up the instructor.
Do we know the source of that document? Because Jenna says she believes it, I trust that she's not lying to us, but I would like to know what the legal source is. Who wrote that document? There are a lot of state laws that mirror it for elder services. I don't know where it came from. I think it's worth understanding it before we abandon this thing that's been in the booklet for 30 years. That's all.
Yeah, it did make a distinction. Remember, I pointed
Yes,
that out. It was
yes.
event versus program.
It didn't say it just said events.
It says
didn't
events,
say
which is
versus.
event is a one-time thing.
Well, that's your definition of it. We don't know. I would just like to know the legal source of that document before we abandon it.
Oh, you know, thank you.
So the town is not allowed to make money on any service that we provide. For example, and within Mass General Law. But the cost doesn't just account for example, with the lunches, the cost is not just the lunch. It's also having the staff having the lights on in the building. So if you have an event, you charge $5, but you end up with, and it only costs $25, but you end up with 30, that extra 5 goes towards power to the light. So you can cover all of your costs. It's the same thing with dog licenses. It costs the town 50 cents per license, but we charge $10 per license because of all the additional costs that we have with mailing, with staff and the database and all that sort of stuff. So you can't make money on anything, but you can justify that extra $5.
So how about if we have, so the instructors is charging $75, you've got 20 people, 25 people, under $25, so that's $50 over what we're paying for that instructor. What happens to that $50?
It goes towards the additional expenses of using this building,
Okay,
the lights
so
of the
that is
building,
allowed.
the having this building staffed
Okay,
and that sort of thing.
so then that's allowed, and that's money that would then go into the revolving fund.
Yes.
Okay,
Let's get like restaurants and charge $20 a meal.
It could include the overhead, yes.
okay,
Can we
thank you for
justify that?
clarifying that, Laura. So, yes, Tom.
Actually, the program we're talking about, with the instructors, do we have an idea what the average attendance has been? Is it 10, 15?
I think Palms went down a little bit because of the the sessions skewed things. So because people didn't want to commit to 4 classes a month, those enrollments did drop a little bit because people didn't want to commit to the 4 classes.
but so we don't know what.
We
the
don't
weekly-
really know.
It's an
No.
unknown factor.
It's an
So-
unknown thing. It's
So
kind
what
of
we
a.
just outlined could happen where.
Linda's got her hand up.
Oh,
Karen.
Linda.
I just have some of the numbers, because I kind of looked this, like for one example, strength and balance used to be 34 people. Probably about 50% were out of town, that now runs about 12 to 14. So between fee and the fact that some of the out of towners dropped off considerably, that's a big factor that's changed the numbers as well.
But is that part of the reason because opera was given, they were getting free classes from
Could be.
everyone was coming because it was for free.
So here's one example, and you can take this as you see, we had pom pom class, she was running around 12 to 14, the price came in. She, for June, it was 6, she
I
told
heard
me
that.
she would not run the class at 6, then she decided to run it free. And we had 19 people come and 6 and 13 were not ready residents.
But because this is the part of it was, they're all, how do I state this, taken back as they have to pay now.
Well, no, and I think the instructors got used to the cost that they were getting.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
so it's twofold. It's the fee for the instructor, and those that were participating now have to say, if I really wanna
Flip
come and.
side of that equation, we have yoga, she may get 4 to 6, she's A-okay with. 4 to
She'll
6.
run a 4 to
Or like
6.
Best, she's doing, she's volunteering.
She's got with body and brain, she gets a
Right.
small body, so some of the instructors have a high threshold, if they
Right.
need it to be a certain number. As Terry is saying, and some say, no, I still wanna do this and.
I'm doing it out of the kindness.
I'll take it, I'll take the
Exactly.
lower. Income.
Right.
Again, our goal is to use this money to the benefit of the elders in the community. We sincerely all want that to happen. But I'm concerned about the sustainability of these trust funds if we're starting to spend more than the annual interest. And this could quickly add up to that. I don't have a comfort level yet of the numbers to believe that it won't. And that's the comfort level I would like to see before I voted for anything long. If we want another Band-Aid for a short term, I'd be fine with that, but we need to really talk this through as a group and look at the numbers and think about that, because if the trust funds are gonna be run dry, they're gone, and right now they're a real asset, and there's been lots of talk about using some of that money for maybe furnishing one of the rooms in the new center. I mean, there've been lots of talks that are more than daily operating costs of the Pleasant Street
But in my
Center.
opinion, I feel like the exercise classes bring health and wellness to this community.
I'm not
And that's the goal
challenging,
of
I'm
the
not
funds.
challenging that, I'm
That's
just saying it warrants a deep discussion, that's all. And
Carrie, your figure of 10,000 was for how long?
I think we said 5 months.
That's about 2,000.
It's very high.
For 5 months. So.
that's 4 years, even at the 90,000.
And Carrie, that is to help pay for the instructor, correct?
It's to help either offset program fees or to help create a slush fund.
Do you think it would be best to just start and say, okay, we're doing away with the 4-week payment?
We can't without money even slept in a room. We can't. We gotta be able to pay the instructors.
So would you need that full amount if we just said, let's do it for a couple of months and see?
I don't wanna keep, this is becoming a exhausting task, and the staff here can attest to this. We can't keep changing the way we do things, because we're gonna all end up having, headaches every day, which we already do. We have to either keep it, I personally think if we make this change to weekly, it's gotta be something that we do for a year, because we can't go back and forth and keep flip-flopping. It's too much on us, it's too much on the front desk, it's too much on the programming, it's too much all around.
You need 20,000, not 10.
No, I'm saying, if, I wanna see how it goes, if if in 6 months, no one comes, cause they don't like it, then we reevaluate. I really don't wanna have to do that, I really wanna keep it consistent for a little bit longer.
So you wanna do
What we have
60?
found is the sessions are they're not going well.
So when would you start this, Karen?
Probably July 1,
You would, over the summer, or we wouldn't wait till September?
probably not.
Well, can I make a request? I gave the $5,000 and I asked that that goes towards this amount. So that then we only need to get 5,000 more for the next several months. Can we do that?
Yeah, I think,
This is why I made the donation.
okay.
Because I believe very strongly in this. And then that way we can do the 5,000 and that'll at least get us through the end of the year.
Thank you, Karen, because that's something that I was just getting, because I was about to make a motion for 5,000, and then Carrie went into her thing about not wanting to change it that
Which I
frequently,
totally
which
get.
makes sense too.
Totally get
And
that.
so if the total combined would be 10,000, I'm willing to make a motion that we appropriate 5,000 to cover. And I would move that money, both sums of money, the 5,000 donation and the 5,000 taken from the trust funds be put, simply be used to offset any expenses that come up and not get into wording involving the revolving fund, right? Just say.
Want to make a motion?
I move that the Council on Aging approve up to $5,000 to offset the expense of running the exercise classes.
If they match it.
Registrations don't meet the cost.
Do we need to add in combination with the $5,000
I don't know if we
donation?
put that in.
I don't know.
And that this money be combined with the previous get donated $5,000 to create a fund of 10,000. That was that. Yeah.
A second.
A second.
Any further discussion? So it's coming, did you say where it was coming out?
I did not, because I don't know.
Oh, Burbank.
Burbank, okay, then I moved.
We need to talk,
Yes. Yes.
Any more discussion?
Yes. It was staff evaluation, I used to request. And these we. But actually, for money, they're telling you their needs, please vote for their needs. People who come here don't like to pay a month in advance. People who come here don't like to have to get a doctor's note to get a refund. That is absolutely ridiculous. So
That will end.
Yes, we're ending this.
good, it should.
Tom,
I think it's important for this motion to pass from not only what we're hearing from the staff, but for the people that are coming. I think the program needs to show consistency.
Yes.
People need that, the routine and consistency from a program. If you show them that, I think they will support the program. But if you show them a program that's been here this month and gone next month, I think people are gonna look elsewhere. But I think for a good program to run, it needs to be consistent and have a track record.
Well, I think what you're saying is good because, oh, I'm sorry.
Kate,
Well, I was just gonna say, and I don't know where and how to make this comment, but that sometime within the next, we think this, 6 months, right? We get some sort of detailed proposal from staff and how this is gonna work and that like, because, well, it's gotta be sustainable, and if it's not sustainable, then we're just putting a lot of money up, so that's my only comment. You gotta get a plan.
and yeah, so that, again, Carrie, that's, we agree with you. We don't want there to have to be another change. We want things to be sustainable. Things are looking even worse in 2028. So that's why we're really, trying to anticipate all of this. Any further discussion? Oh, Jean, you had a point.
So, Carrie, when will this weekly, again, I think you answered this, but I probably went right over my head. When will the weekly sign up start? Do you have any idea?
Easy. It's easy for staff, probably
July,
July.
probably July,
See, and I think that would be great.
because we got a month to.
I think that would be great because then those who participate here who have not been happy say, wow, they really did listen. So I give kudos to you.
Thank you.
So that's good.
Jean, what is starting? What did you just ask about?
Because when are they going to start doing it on a weekly
Because
basis?
I want to probably put it in the July newsletter, obviously in the July newsletter. Yeah.
Exactly. Is that for other towns also to pay, I mean, that pay the same amount as?
I think they have to pay more.
Well, in all fairness to that, I know some people say other places don't. But I have seen depending on the program, certain towns do charge $5 extra. I think some programs they do, not in North Reading, I'm talking other
But that's,
seniors.
you make that.
You make that decision.
Okay, so we need to vote, or did we vote? I'm so.
No, we
did
haven't.
not. All right. Any other discussion, because I would like to vote.
I would like to know, the fiscal year will be coming up. Is Elder Services asking for more money?
The
No.
budget
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The budget for FY 27 is set.
Yes.
Yes, it was voted on a town meeting
And they didn't ask.
Okay,
They didn't ask.
and is, so, yes, that's another whole issue.
Why not?
I would have liked to hear more about an override conversation, but anyway, so let's vote on Kate's motion to approve $5,000 in combination with the donation to fund up to 5,000 to fund through
6 months.
to fund for 6 months.
From
From Burbank to fund programming.
Yes.
Second.
It's already been second.
Okay.
Now we're voting. Okay, Jean Prato.
Yes.
John Parsons.
Yes.
Marilyn Shapley.
Yes.
Yes.
Rosemary DiBenedetto, Kate Harrington, Karen Janowski, yes. Okay, wow.
Yeah, you got some money. It's a start.
But is
Little
it
steps.
enough after all?
For the
this?
next couple of months, we got a lot of work to do.
We'll have to see.
All right, the next item on the agenda is the survey update. I just basically, let's just keep this short. I sent it out to people. I wanted you to know that we are moving forward with this. And that, I've been working on it with Libby, Miller. And she's getting her master's in data analytics and computational social science at UMass Amherst. And she also worked at the UNH Survey Center during the final year. She actually sent me some additional comments after I sent this out. So I just want you to see this is a work in progress. And if you have any ideas or thoughts on it, please shoot them to me. I will bring them, we'll bring it to the next meeting. And
Why are we doing another survey? All we do is surveys.
We haven't done
we
one in
haven't done one.
years.
It's a great question, John, but we feel like we want to hear what people, especially as we anticipate moving forward into the new center. And we just want to, our responsibility is to advocate for the needs of the 60+ community. And this is one of the ways that we can achieve that goal by identifying what the needs are.
And how is the survey gonna be distributed?
That'll come up when it's a great question again, but we will finalize all of that information. We will do it online, we'll do it, we'll try to get as much feedback as possible, online, paper copies here at the library, at the town, yes, leaving it at town hall. So, and again, even a discussion about, is it just for the 60+ community? Is it for the town? So anyway, so I did want to just make sure that people are aware. If you do have feedback, please feel free to email me and we will continue this discussion. Okay, thank you. The COA working group update and possible vote. I know we're down, we just have Kate and Jean currently on the COA working group. My understanding is.
I resigned.
Yeah, Marilyn resigned, Ron.
Not for political reasons. It's a
No.
family illness. I just don't have enough hours in the day.
So it's just Jean and Mary and Kate. Jean and Kate. And so Just, is there an update that you would like to share? with
We don't
us?
have an update to announce me.
Okay, and I think the
And I'm waiting
operations,
To hear,
and well,
that
that's,
and how we can meet.
so operate, and the operations group, from what I understand, hasn't been meeting either. So,
I've stopped everything.
yeah, everything's on hold,
Well,
so,
they can be. We can't until some decisions are made by the land or this council.
so,
Because the question was not raised as to whether we were violating rules that we were told we absolutely are
now-
not obligated to honor.
No, the questions are,
Yeah.
if there needs, it was in the email I sent.
Mhm.
You and or the council need to decide. Who can be responsible for posting? Are you gonna assign that to a staff member so that we'd have to put a staff member, or could one of us simply fill out the form and post it? And then secondly, are we required to do hybrid meetings or can we do in-person meetings?
so currently, I don't post anything, it's all through staff. So it would be posting again through staff.
It doesn't have to be that way. It's your decision, or the council's decision on how the operating could work could do. The town process, there's a form and you just send that to be posted. So someone can do it, but Laura wants a decision from you and or this council telling her that it's okay for me or Jean or whoever to do that.
So we can, I never posted it, so yeah, I.
It's a lot.
It's what?
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of work to post a meeting. It's a lot, it's a lot. I'm telling you everything.
And then the other part of this is, who else, is there anyone else within the council that wants to participate in this? Because then if it's only two of us, we can't even discuss items off-site. Because
So
they're-
that's another reason why I wanted to put it up on the, as an agenda item to see if there was any other interest from anyone else to join the working group. Now, I know we're down to just the members, but, does anyone else want to join the working group? Tom? You're interested, okay. All right. So, yeah, okay, a third member, so. Is it my decision to,
What the beers or the council?
yeah, I think it
Does
was,
make the motion or do you want?
I don't, it doesn't seem like you should need to make a motion. That you can, that you could then, since you, so we're discussing it tonight. We are recommending that you move forward, that you continue on, and that you post your meetings and with an agenda, and you do it through large.
Right, yeah. As I said, there's a home service with all that, what's your agenda, what's,
Right.
where are you meeting?
Yeah.
So then the other question would be, are we required to have hybrid meetings, or can we have in-person meetings?
Oh, council
Which
meetings
again would
just in
be-
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could we,
It's too bad I. That's it. Okay, so I don't know, I'm sorry, I mean, it's,
Hybrid meetings are more a matter of convenience for the public. The law is you've got to announce the public meeting, and so the posting would include, we're meeting here at this time. So it would still be open to the public, but it just wouldn't be Zoom, which quite frankly, speaking of, well, it's not just that it's long. Or if you've ever tried to book a room for a small group in this town during daytime hours, it is almost impossible, and if the requirement is that it then has to be able to have Zoom capability, it becomes even more.
and then 2 days, how many days
You
notice?
know, so.
right,
Plus, we were told for July that there was no obligation that we have it be online. We just had to understand we would not have staff there to do it, but why would we have a more restrictive posting for
a work group than for the whole committee, you know?
Can I just ask, can you use one of the upstairs room like after the COA? I mean, after
Well, again,
PSC?
yeah, it would all depend upon timing and stuff, because then it's dependent upon timing of our schedules and things. You know, the former working group often met in the evening because of Ron's schedules. Now, I don't know Tom's schedule, so we have to see what works best for us, and then if anyone else doesn't want to join us.
And then it's the duration of the time of that meeting. Because sometimes our meetings could go on for
Yeah,
2 to
so
3
like, could we
hours.
meet from 3 to 6 upstairs? I don't know what the, you know, how that works out, so that's the issue that we always run into, so.
How does that work in terms of, is this building always open in the evening?
I think it depends on availability. There's a lot of different, sometimes there's rec is using it upstairs for class and sometimes this room's being used. I know that, like the garden club comes here, it's Democratic community, it's different groups rented.
But it's not always rented, so yeah.
Not always, but
Yeah.
it might be one Tuesday, like chair volleyballs tomorrow night in this room.
Okay, is it?
Yeah.
Great.
It's gonna take a hiatus and stuff.
Okay, so if not, I mean,
So moving forward, there's no need for a vote. You have a new member, and the three of you can use the tablet, and then hopefully you can find, hopefully this space on occasion will be available to you.
All right, and they'll communicate that to Laura.
Yeah.
So we're
Thank you.
deciding that it does have to be open on Zoom or not?
Let me confirm that.
Okay.
Okay,
So
all right, then you'll let me know that.
it
Well,
has,
it is
it has to be a
oh,
room. It has to be.
It has to be on Zoom.
So probably not gonna do it with, I'm not there anymore, but they probably won't do it in someone's living room anymore, because who knows who's gonna come, but.
or we could do it at the
Well, if you don't want
library.
people in your living room.
But look how hard it is to get the library.
Yeah,
It's
I know, the
almost
library is
impossible.
tough to get.
Extremely.
Oh.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Whipped.
Oh, we're almost done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we had a
This is a re-
5:30 meeting and we're still going.
Yeah.
this one we had a lot to discuss.
We did.
And so this is every June or July, every board,
June.
but through like July 21st or something. Every board needs to, or council needs to needs to reorganize. And so this is our reorganization meeting. So we have, we need to vote for a chair and a vice chair.
My understanding is you'd like to continue to be chair?
Annie thinks I'm crazy.
Oh, that's a requirement, Is anyone else
Yeah,
interested in
is
being
there-
chair?
That was my question, was can the chair and vice chair, can they continue, or is there a
2
term?
years.
2 years,
Oh.
yeah.
2
So
years.
John can't continue.
He's been doing it for 7 years or more.
So does anyone want to, move to nominate anyone? I just don't want to.
I would nominate Karen.
Oh, okay.
Chair.
Oh, all right.
Second,
Thank you.
So we need to vote on that.
Okay, so Karen, you have to do the vote,
Oh, that's
because
right,
I can.
right.
You have to
You
do
just have to-
the roll call. You do the roll call.
Yeah.
Roll call.
Passed over.
Yeah.
Roll call, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
You can say each name.
Okay, John.
yes.
Now,
Yes,
Yes.
you can ask Kate, she can vote.
oh, you can vote for yourself?
Yeah.
Karen,
Yeah.
Rosemary.
Yes.
Kate.
Yes.
Thank you all.
The outgoing
Be in the
vice chair.
running
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah, yeah.
I know when I ran, when I was nominated last year, well, it was volunteer, because nobody would speak, nobody wanted to take on the position, so I
That's
said,
how I
okay.
ended up in it.
Right.
It's like
So
the
hopefully you all have a
council-
year to
Think
think about it. Future agenda
What about
items.
vice chair?
Vice chair, oh my
Vice
goodness.
chair.
I nominate, if she's willing, I nominate Kate as vice chair.
I'll second that.
She has to be willing.
Okay,
Are you willing?
Yeah,
Great. Okay, Jean,
yes.
John, Marilyn?
Yes.
Karen, yes? Agree?
Yes.
Thank you, great. So we
All
got,
right.
We got our
thank you
chair
all.
vice
And thank
chair.
you for your dedicated
John,
service,
you've been
John.
vice chair for quite a while, haven't you?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
he
been
can-
more than the 2 years.
Can he still say it's time to adjourn?
Of course he can.
Well,
Not
we
yet.
gotta do teacher
Not
agenda,
yet,
just in
not
case.
yet. So future agenda items,
Oh, July meeting.
yeah,
Yes.
so, I did talk with Jenna about this too, because I did listen to last month's meeting. And I know that this question came up and we can still meet in July. So would we like to? And I
No,
know
we
Terry,
should.
you won't be able to join us, I
Correct.
know, but, yeah, Kate.
Well, I just wonder if July would be a good time to have the meeting that we've talked about with people who can tell us about the trust fund.
They're not gonna, I think with vacations, it might be.
Kate,
We
I'm
could
really
read the
sorry. I
documents
thought-
together.
I'm sorry, I thought I had that information.
Yeah.
Cause I did meet with
Yeah,
Diane and,
I know, but it's so
and
complex.
Sharon, and they did tell me that this was the information.
Mhm.
But, and I thought I had it, but I'm still
Just
getting
questions.
questions, so, but one of the things too, I do want you to know this, Marilyn,
Yeah.
too. So Sharon did send me this. She, I met with the chair of the Council on Aging. They requested a monthly year-to-date budget report be sent each month with invoice detail for the fiscal year included. I've attached the report as I ran as of today, which I sent out. Please send this report each month to Carrie Valley so she can put in the COA meeting packets. So I want you to know that that will happen moving
That's a
forward.
good thing.
But I wanted to read the words exactly
Mhm.
because, again, I thought that the information was,
know.
but there's some question about whether it's accurate or not.
Well, but I guess my thinking was even beyond these specifics of the dollar amounts and stuff. The meeting that Marilyn had described, it could be useful, and I think John echoed that. With background on what each fund is and what we're allowed to spend it and what the actual rules and regulations are. Would be helpful months. Right. I think it was 2 meetings ago you suggested bringing people in to have that.
Okay, so
conversation.
some members still are unclear about that? Because it's the interesting.
John, are we still unclear about that?
I could raise a question right off.
Yeah, I find some of it kind of foggy, I really do.
Yeah.
And I still question, what is interest? If all we're looking at is return on investment, that's not interest. What did they mean? When it was founded, did they have interest bearing accounts that made sense? And do they still have interest bearing? What is interest? And this gets into what is their philosophy? Are they trying to maintain the purchasing value of these trusts as opposed to just the original principle? I'm assuming they are, but no one should assume. I mean, if they weren't, you could spend a lot more money. You could, there's questions that we
Okay.
should just get people answers on. I'd also love for us to have the meeting we've talked about many times, which we've never had, which is to really just brainstorm on what would, we kind of do this crisis management with these spending the funds. I would love for the council as a whole to think, in the best of worlds, what could we do for the community as a whole of 60 plus? That maybe we use these funds for, and maybe there isn't anything, and maybe it's crisis management of the operation. But I would love for there to be a thoughtful discussion of that, especially for Burbank, 'cause it's a lot of money. I mean, we could buy furniture for the new building, we could do any number of things.
No, we don't want to do that.
All right, we're on, John doesn't want to do that, I'm not thrilled, but anyway, I would just love a discussion that's council-wide. We're in a unique position and using stuff like survey data to inform us. Let's think about what needs are that aren't maybe being met as opposed to this, how are we gonna feed them next month? Which is not a trivial thing, I don't mean to trivialize it for a moment, it's very important, but we have the opportunity to think of other things as well, and I'd just like to see a discussion of it.
Well, and whether or not we do a July meeting, is, whatever, but Marilyn's comments in light of our whole discussion tonight and everything, I mean, when we come back together, let's say we don't do a July meeting, we're coming back in August, we are gonna be within months, an override vote about the FY 28 budget. And when you talk about managing crises, you know, at the best we're gonna be able apparently to hope for would be that we're gonna get exactly the same amount of funding in elder and human services that we had for FY 27. Regardless of what happens in an override, whether we get money in the override or whether we not, the way they're describing it, our budget's not gonna increase no matter what. So how do we move forward with elder and human services would be a discussion I'd like to have. Thinking long-term, how, you know, do we just keep scraping by there? Rosemary keeps talking about scratching out. Well, you know, we're looking at least another year of doing that. And possibly worse if the override fails. So I think for us to start wrestling with some of that would be important and sometime soon.
And I think that hopefully that's what's driving a lot of us, because we're thinking ahead, and that's what that whole sustainability is really. We'll continue about it. It's not, Tom, your thought.
I do, first up, I'd like to thank you. I know a lot of work went into getting this information on the top. But even though some of it, we feel is not as accurate as this should be, but one of the things that concerned me here tonight, and I didn't hear the answer, or maybe I missed the answer, was, there seems to be some money in the account. I think it was in, if I heard it correctly, donations. And, that account doesn't earn any interest. In this day and age, I just.
We aren't sure about that.
Right, okay.
We aren't sure.
We don't have
I
any
just
control.
think we should get an answer,
Right.
that's all.
Yeah.
And if it's, the answer is it's not earning interest, I think it should be addressed, that's all, obviously.
Who runs that fund donation? Who's in charge of that?
Town treasurer, I would imagine. Okay, any, so let me just get those, the future agenda items, we want to philosophical discussion as an organization about this, and make sure.
I'd like a philosophical discussion about the priorities of the council on aging and how we might use the customers to, you know, whether they're interested in it. And what you've done in the past, just FYIs, at least for a few years, they picked specific ones. You can't be all things to all people. So for a period, for example, they did the dementia friendly program. It was great. And it ran its course, but it was great. We could pick something concrete that here's something we see that we could help with. It's just an example. I would like to see us have a bigger picture goal that we agree. Maybe we can't, then we can't.
Trying to say what the furniture is already accounted for in public budget.
Oh, good.
It is, yes.
Good,
Excited.
excellent.
Yeah, I heard that kind of, you just threw on, yeah, kind of, so.
We still talking about future agenda items?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, these people are too deep for me. I'm just got smaller trivial things. But I learned today that IT won't touch the computers or the printer downstairs. Or I heard two different answers. One is because they weren't the ones that recommended them. And the other one is because the town employees don't use them. So I would just love to see a letter go from the council to the town manager and the 5 select persons saying that we think whoever made up that policy is crazy. And we'd like to see that changed.
What's the policy again?
The IT will not touch the 4 computers or the printer downstairs in this room, in this building.
Because
And
they
the
didn't
printer
buy it.
hasn't worked for a long time.
Yeah, I know.
So then whose responsibility is it?
No one knows.
Yeah, people like Kerry,
I gotta
and,
hire some.
you know, take it apart, you know.
We're
I
hoping
think,
to find
I
somebody
think the
with
town
knowledge
should
that's
take
gonna
care of
help.
it.
You have to,
Yeah,
you have to hire someone when we have an IT person.
the town IT staff is not allowed to touch the computers in the basement.
And I just
Not
think that,
allowed to.
Correct.
and I think that policy should be changed by
I
somebody.
would
Because
like
they're
to,
not town
They're public for public use.
I bet there must be some volunteer in town. So,
I think the printer's minutes match.
yeah.
We need a
10
new
years
printer.
ago.
Like 50 years ago.
So basically, you need a new printer.
But there might be a volunteer in town, but I still think the policy should be changed.
Yeah, it's a bad policy.
Well, I don't know if the word would be changed, but I think we're gonna have the same issue moving into the new.
Yeah.
We're
building.
not bringing those computers on.
You're not bringing
Yeah.
those, but you're gonna have the same issue.
But I
with-
think laptops are a little bit. I think it's gonna be different.
You still
All
need someone,
right.
you still need someone who will take care of.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, that's-
anything else? So Kate, I want to make sure, to me, what I'm hearing you saying is sustainability of funding and programs?
Well, yeah, it's maybe a less than philosophical discussion.
Yeah.
She wants to talk about the philosophy of the trust fund. I wanna talk about how do we sustain Elder Human Services
Yes.
Going forward.
moving forward.
Yes.
You know, given the issues we've already faced and.
Yep.
And how is that
And
going
it's
to?
tied to those two, you know, understanding what funds we might have available and stuff, but.
And then yet they have to think going forward into the new building. I mean, how are they going to promote new programming without money?
Well,
Well,
how are they gonna
they
do
did
new
project-
budgets?
Exactly.
They did project that the new building would cost just to run it about 500,000,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is not currently in the budget.
For sure.
Well, how does that happen when you're planning something?
We have a
All right,
volunteer
so-
government. We do the best we all can.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, clearly you have to serve it on the future agenda.
Yeah.
To take, serve it.
okay, anything else?
I don't think of right now.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Are we still?
And off to the PBC meeting we go.
Jean, Fredo,
Up to vote?
yeah, to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Marilyn.
Yes.
Rosemary, Kate. Thank you all. It was a long one, but I